Hey, everybody. Permission to come aboard. This is the Inner Tournament of Champions podcast. We're finally back in a post-Aquaman
Great joke.
viewing experience. But thank you. See? Yeah. Post Wrestle Kingdom 13, which you guys don't watch because you're not wrestling weirdos. We're in a post all of that stuff era because it's 2019 now. And we're still doing our year-end, year-beginning, whatever, stuff of like top 10s from 2018. The last couple episodes were most anticipated for 2019, so go listen to those if you want to learn what we're excited about coming out soon. Now, not that the new year has finally surfaced, we are really honestly just getting caught up in all the shits, like games, TV, and movies from last year. I don't know why I'm still watching movies from last year. I have 160 something logged. I could just stop. I should just stop. It's ridiculous now.
I fell one
There's
short
some middle of the road ones out
and,
there still for me.
I fell one short of my goal and then completely lost steam. That's like that's my movie depression. It's like hit 64, almost got to 65. That was my goal, and I was just like, well, didn't make my goal. Just fuck it then, you fucking loser.
Never doing it. Never watching any movies ever again.
Never watching a movie ever again. You know, you failed. You failed the game. You don't get to play. There's no extra lives.
So that's
It's not Bandersnatch. You can't just go back and change stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
This is life.
No. I just got to do it again. Just got to do it again.
What you don't understand, this is all simulation, or however he talks. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty much Charlie Day.
It was very Charlie Day.
Charlie Day, and It's Always
Pepe,
Sunny doing conspiracy theory.
Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, Pepe Sylvia. Yeah.
So this episode, we're talking about our favorite games from 2018. Just doing our traditional top 10 list. Each, doing one at a time for each of us. And my name's Jeff. I'm joined by JD and Kyle, as always. The order this week... What is it? Oh, it's Kyle starting, then me, then JD.
Oh, wow. I'm starting a video game episode on the one that I'm finally informed on.
I really feel like you should have just made him go first just to keep the joke going.
You're right. I shouldn't have. Yeah,
fuck it.
Around.
Hindsight's always 2020.
It's not like we're gonna go off the rails and have a totally wrong number one.
That's true.
Like some people.
I know, yeah.
So that's
our
good.
list is going to be very right.
Yes,
so
our list is super correct.
Yeah, even though none of our lists will be the same, the top two will probably be the same.
Top two, top three, yeah. Top two at least, yeah.
I'd probably be a cuck about top three. So
okay, that's fine though. That's fine though. But yeah, we're just going to start with number 10 and then stop at number 2 and do honorable mentions there and then talk about our... obviously, our unison number 1, which is the correct number 1. So, Kyle, what's your number 10?
I just want to get out and say, Jeff, I really hope you're pulling the indie chain this year because I played a lot of great indies this year, and I didn't put any in my top 10, and I feel like a real piece of shit for that. So, hope you make up for me. Anyways, my number 10 is Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Typical! Sorry.
Typical! Look at this guy! Already bought his tickets to Broly the movie.
Fucking good, though.
Man, I usually don't like fighting games very much. I think I have 2 fighting games on my list this year, and I think I played 4 great fighting games this year. So it's been kind of a nutty year for my enjoyment of fighting games. I wanted to sneak Dragon Ball Fighter Z on here. It was a bridge to a lot of Texas friends for me this year. Got in and did a lot of parties with that game. Just did a lot of online parties. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun, just beating the shit out of each other in that game. Just the game's really beautiful too. It's just like watching the anime. Like it looks better than the anime even, but it's that style exactly in motion. I don't know how they pulled it off. It's one of the faster, paced fighting games as well. Very hard to master, very easy to jump into though. It's really rewarding. I don't play it as much at the end of the year now, or at the beginning of this year. Since it came out all of that time ago. I think it came out January last year. But yeah, I kept my interest for almost 6 months while the DLC characters were coming out. So we just kept on jumping back in and kept on fighting. And, we would stop for a couple months and jump back in again. And, it was a lot of fun, I'm not the best in my group at that game. So when I lose a lot, I get mad. That's why I don't like competitive games. It's like, I fucking hate losing.
Yeah, I hate it too. But
I hate it.
I have heard really good things about that game. My own, disinterest aside from whatever Dragon Ball. I just fell out of favor with that game. I don't know. All that stuff. Well, not the games, but all this Dragon Ball stuff. But I have heard legitimately that's been on a lot of year-end lists or whatever for 2018.
One of the best fighting games ever. I mean, I think it's awesome. It's made a good imprint in the fighting game scene right now as well. So people are doing professional tournaments on it and everything. So it's good stuff. Yeah, BlazBlue people, they do good fighting games.
Oh, good. So my number 10 is my bottom 5 is all indies, pretty much.
Thank God.
This one is super indie, and it doesn't have like barely any characters in it at all. It's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
That's a push. Not
that is a little bit of a push. Yeah.
Well,
that's a big indie right there.
Yeah,
God,
super
indie of the year.
There's like nobody in it. I'm pretty sure you're just controlling like a cloud. I don't even know anymore.
You picked your favorite random character because they're all unique to just this game.
Yeah. Hold on, I actually typed in Super Smash instead of push it. I typed in the title of the fucking game because I'm an idiot. All right.
Yeah, you push that.
There we go. There's the music.
That song. There we go. I can definitely hear it.
Just a little bit though. All right. So that's my number 10. JD, you have a number 10, right?
I do.
Okay, cool.
I stuck to the 10 format for my top 10. But I mean, I do need to preface that I did not actually play some of these games in my lower half.
What? No, that's fine.
Sorry, I just got back into gaming and stuff, so I'm catching up. But so some of these are more just ones that I got like a little bit of, and either a little bit of playtime or saw somebody playing them. And I don't know. I don't think this game belongs on anybody's list because it's already been discounted and shit, like very heavily, and it just came out a couple months ago. It's Battlefield 5. I don't think.
You know what? I am going to. It's not a push for me. It's a hard on men because I'm playing that game right now, and I'm like, why are people shitting on this game?
Really?
Oh, really? Holy shit!
This is a super fucking solid World War II shooter, and it's
what?
Awesome
people are bent about the fact that there's women avatars in it because it's not historically accurate, and I really do think that's a lot of the rage. So that makes
that's a lot of it.
EA sucks. All right, EA sucks. We all know they suck. We all carry that like with us whenever a new EA game comes out. We're just like, oh, we just want to hate it. Oh, everything about them. Like so, like we all harbor that in some way. Some people way more passionate than others, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't have that, and trust me, I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a mess. I think Star Wars Battlefront 1's a mess. I think what they've done to DICE is like awful. Like DICE used to make really quality games, but this is good. DICE made this game. It's really good. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I like Grand Operations mode. It's 3 or 4 maps in a row, and like the outcome of the first like match changes what you're doing in the next match, and it's like the best of 2 out of 3, I believe it is. And if you stalemate, you get the 4th match. And they're all different. So, like one will be like bomb the thing, and the other will be like take the thing or push the front line back, or it changes kind of modes every single map. And it's an accumulative kind of thing as you go across all the days, if you will. And they're real battles too. So like you're reenacting like real battles and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's cool, man. With whatever.
Game sucks.
I really enjoy it. I'm glad you brought it up because I think the game just gets piled on, and I would still play that over Call of Duty just any fucking day of the week. I
would play the worst Battlefield title over the best Call of Duty title. My only hesitation is I'm not prepared to play this on PC, and that's how I prefer to play first-person shooters. Like, I don't know, I'm just not comfortable playing them on PlayStation yet. So I will get to it eventually. It
was like $30 the other day. You should pick it up so you can play it.
If it's still out there for $30, I might consider it. I did buy Battlefield 1 when it was on sale for like $10.
It's the Grand Opera or whatever the new thing that's coming out, Firestorm or whatever. It's that Battle Royale mode. It's gonna be cool, man. If they push it back, if it's not part of launch, that means they're doing something big with it.
Okay.
I think, and it's going to be free. Like, all of the content's free. So, like, there's no season pass like Call of Duty. Like, everything that comes out is free for this game.
Okay. Man, I'll check and see if it's still... if it's still out there, because I think my brother-in-law plays that too. That's where I got a little bit of time in.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we get a little group together. You can get squads of 4, and you all spawn off each other.
Sweet.
So it's good,
man.
Then
I'll fucking get it whenever it's on sale, and we'll do that shit.
Yeah, we want to play this competitive. Like, it's. I don't like playing games competitively. We just went over this, but like, I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and I'm doing really well. I've been getting some good kills. I'm like, when did I? Like, do people suck now, or is this matchmaking better? They put me with shitty people because they know how shitty I am. I don't know.
It could be the matchmaking is better though, genuinely, because like I don't know, some games like even Destiny 2, you get placed in these matchups where you're like, trust me, no, it's totally legit, and you're on even playing fields, and you're so not at all.
Yeah, no, there's always some guy who's so good, and you're like, how did he end up in this server?
Yeah, that's bullshit. Bullshit.
I never do matching with Destiny. I play it with my brother-in-law, and that's it, because he's really good. So I'm always the guy that's like middle of the road, and then the third guy that gets put in our group is always a fucking cuck.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, of course,
like he makes me look good. And I'm like, I'm fucking terrible.
We
at this
really
game.
carrying this guy? Can we kick him?
That does say something about the quality of Battlefield 5 that you don't like the competitive games, and you still
I
like
usually
it.
always check out Battlefield just to be, if I'm being just 100% honest, but like usually they don't keep me like very entertained very long. We're only 2 months out, and I just bought this like 3 weeks ago, so it's not like I'm very far in or whatever, but like I'm enjoying it. I'll pick it up all year as they put in more map stuff. And again, I like Battle Royale. I guess I'm quote unquote cucky about that, because it's so mainstream or whatever. I don't like competitive games again, but I think it's at least fresh, like it's a new fresh mode. So if like I'm entering back into kind of like doing like competitive stuff, it may as well be something new. And this is new, so yeah, everyone has their own flavor of it now. But maybe Battlefields will be cool. So
Cool.
Word.
Cool.
Kyle, what's your number 9?
And I feel like I just talked that entire time. Should be a push. I hope it's A Way Out.
It's a push.
We actually synced on that one, but mine's
Push.
not with any merit of the quality of the game, so whatever.
Doesn't matter. I'm playing the song. Push
Yeah,
the
whatever.
song.
But that should be a push.
Slight push though. All right, so my number 9 is it's definitely not a push. It's legitimately I do have my bottom 5 as indie games. This one is oh my god, you can pronounce this game 7 different fucking ways. It's Gris.
Greece.
That's the French pronunciation of it, but it's Greece. Gris is French for gray, and that's how you start the game. But yeah, this game's fucking dope, man. And I just love the visual style of it. It's clearly hand drawn, and there's a lot of care put into it. You start as like this lady that loses her voice or something like that. You could it really is a metaphor game in terms of it's so open, the metaphor of it. Like you can assign whatever meaning you want to it because she just loses her voice, and then all the color from the world disappears, and you have to kind of it's a platformer, so you have to kind of like run around and restore colors to the world, and then eventually you get your voice back and stuff. Spoilers, I guess, but that's the goal of the game. And each time you bring a color back, you get an ability of some kind, or some kind of cool thing you can do. It's not that long of a playthrough. It's like 3 hours or something like that. Does that sound about right? I don't know. I definitely beat it.
Hour and a half in. So I
beat it fast. Yeah.
That's about right.
And some of the levels are really cool, man. Sometimes you have to go like underwater, and then it's super dark, but like you are illuminated, or like a fish illuminates the path for you or something. And there's just some really clever, really cool level designs and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I like that you can pretty much assign more or less. It's kind of an open book. You can assign whatever meaning you want to it. Like you can make it about like depression or something like that. I don't know. It's one of those touchy-feely games that a lot of people will just kind of be like indie trash or whatever. You know who I'm thinking of. And
a bunch of people.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing too. If you love the storytelling and the art style stuff, in God of War, you should love it in this one.
Hey,
that's what I tell you.
That's a weird comparison to make there, sir. I don't know why you would bridge those two things together.
I know, right? I read it somewhere. All right. I've been reading a lot of interesting gaming opinions this year, guys. That's for sure. And
everyone's got one these days.
We're going to try and rail against them as much as possible in this podcast, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. People are so wrong this year. It makes my head spin. This game might be my favorite looking game of the year.
Yeah.
It's got the most unique, coolest, hand-drawn... amazing. Beautiful score. Yeah. It's just a unique looking game, and it just felt like someone just like, I made art, and it's a very artistic game. Like it looks better than like Journey. You know what I mean? And Journey has that kind of like specific style. And I compare this a lot to Journey. It's kind of similar. They're both platformers. You're solving kind of small little puzzles or whatever to kind of progress. Mm-hmm. It's just 2D, but I don't think it takes anything away from it. You even have sliding sections like in Journey. So you just start.
And it feels
sliding.
like the
pans all the way out, and you're just a silhouette. I'm like, this is awesome.
It's so fucking cool. And it's like it feels like it's like watercolors or whatever. I don't know.
It does. Yeah,
that's kind of a cool flavor to it. Yeah, it's a rad game. I definitely recommend it for Switch specifically. I know it's on other things, I think, but Switch is a good one for it.
I think it's just Switch and Steam, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely recommend it on Switch.
Me too.
I don't know. It's just a good handheld, I think. If you want to play it on the go, which I did mostly. I should have probably put it on the TV so I could see all those fucking colors, but my bad. Oops.
The
Whatever.
screen's good on the Switch.
Yeah, the screen is good, but like, you know, if you wanted to see because she's really tiny in some parts, so you have to like kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Where is she in this? Like sometimes I had to do that. Like, where the fuck am I again? Whatever. Anyway, that's why it's slow though. Fuck this game. I hate it.
Yeah, it seems that way.
So, JD, what's your number 9?
I mean, just for the record, though, I disagree with everything you guys said about that game.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was A Way Out, wasn't it?
Yeah,
right.
It was number 9 for me for A Way Out. Yeah, so we synced on that. So we're pushing.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're still pushing. So, Kyle, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is probably definitely getting pushed. And I'm sorry, it's Detroit.
Oh my God, that's so low.
I don't mean to.
That's fine.
I think above it's so good.
It's fine. And I'm playing the song. You guys can totally hear it.
Might be one of the best games beat. It is very low.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, like that's like whenever you're just like, this is why I own a PlayStation because Xbox doesn't get shit like this. So,
my top 5 hasn't changed at all since my number 1 was in place. Like it hasn't changed. Like I haven't changed my mind on anything.
Yeah.
They're all AAA. I'm a AAA cuck though, so they're all AAAs.
My whole list, don't worry about it. Except number 9. My number 9 was not a AAA.
Right, exactly. My number 8 is this is a super Japanese title. You think I'm making it up? It's The Missing, J.J. McField and the Island of Memories.
It made it.
Yeah,
wow.
it did, dude.
Yeah, you like that game? Wow.
Yeah, this game it's fucking weird. It's even hard to recommend to people. Like
so you gotta sell it to me like real quick because every time I read it, it's just like puzzles, and I'm like, ooh, how much of it is puzzle?
It is,
like,
but it's like body mutilation puzzles. It's really fucking out there. Like it's like unlike anything I've ever played before. So it kind of starts and it doesn't really give you that element of like not fantasy. I guess fantasy is the word I'm looking for, but it doesn't really give you that element because you're just like chilling with your best friend / girlfriend and you ran away together to this island that's kind of mystical is the word I'm looking for. It's kind of a mystical island or whatever, but you don't know it when you get there. And then she goes missing, and you as JJ go around and try to find them. You get struck by lightning early in the game, and after that you can't die. Like, I mean, you can at a certain point, but you discover pretty quickly, like, if you run into obstacles that can kill you, that could kill anybody else, like a body part, an appendage will fall off of you, but you could keep going. You know, like, and then that becomes like a tool that you use to solve certain puzzles or something like that. Like, at some points you can, I think it's like 4 times if you run into like I don't know, needles or whatever, one of those barbed wire fucking traps or whatever. If you run into it like 4 times, eventually you could just become a rolling head, and you can roll your head. Like, you can roll your severed head around into smaller nooks and crannies and stuff like that to solve certain puzzles and stuff. It's fucking weird, dude. Like, it's a horror game for sure. It's definitely not for everybody. So it's going to be hard to sell. But it's definitely got a visual style that it honestly is pretty gorgeous for what it's going for, and I just like that it's something different, and it had me glued to it for a good. When I first started it, I played it for like 4 hours straight. I couldn't put it down. I didn't beat it, but yeah, I couldn't put that shit down, dude.
4 hours straight's that's a long time.
Yeah, it's like because every time I couldn't beat a puzzle, I was like, I'm gonna figure this out, you know, and eventually you do. They're not too hard or whatever. And they're puzzles in the same way that Grizz has puzzles. They're puzzles in that way, where it's like you figure it out eventually, you know. Sometimes you have to use like gravity a certain way. Like there's like a wrecking ball. It comes in like a wrecking ball. It comes in and then it hits you, and when it does, your body, obviously it fucks your body up, it breaks your neck, and you have to like limp around or whatever, but it also flips turns your world upside down, quite literally. So you can like start running on like the ceiling or whatever the fuck, and you have to use that to your advantage or whatever to solve a certain level of puzzles. Yeah, man, it's dark. It's not afraid to go there, and this one was nominated at the Game Awards for Games for Impact because there is a whole message about, I don't know, being yourself, and you know, the further you go, you unravel more like old text messages on your phone, so you can find out her history of self-harm and stuff. And it's like, you know, people should, you know, get a support system for that, stuff like that. There's a message there, whatever, but there's so many other things that I'm here for this game for. So that's my weird ass number 8. Super cucky, super cucky. JD, do you have a non-cucky number 8 to cleanse our palate?
I honestly have no idea if this is cucky or not, so I'll let you two be the judge.
Oh, okay.
This was one I heard about when I was watching the Game Awards, and I think you guys have talked about it. I like platformers, so I put Celeste on here.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if that's...
Did you get far in it? Or because I sucked super hard at that game.
I haven't put my hands on this one yet. This is one that I've just watched, so I want to get it on Steam because I don't think my computer would explode.
No, not at all. Get it there. It's not graphically demanding.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, I mean, I just like platformers, so it seemed like, oh, this one's current and kind of new, so I'm going to snag it at some point. But I didn't know if you guys had any experience with it or not. Maybe
I was so
I just
bad
played a little
at
bit
it.
of it.
Yeah,
I
quit.
suck at games like that. Platformers are the thing that I suck at the most. So,
okay.
Anything precision or like where you have to be smart to like figure stuff out, I'm just out on. Like I just got a real dumb boy brain. So.
Same here. I was pretty bad at some of the mechanics for even the Messenger, which I love.
Me too. Oh my god, that game I love so much, and I suck so bad at it. Like anytime it's just like, no, all you have to do is dash, jump, double jump, dash, double jump. I'm like, no, fuck, I can't fucking do that. Like, what do you mean, just? You just have to just kill. Like when you hit something, you get a new jump, and then you just keep on jumping and hitting and jumping, and you'll get all the way to. No, I'm out on that. I can't, and I love that game.
Yeah, I do too.
Ninja Gaiden's another one that comes up where the actual platforming of that game where you're jumping from like, and this is the 3D one like on Xbox and PS3 and stuff like that. I remember getting so frustrated at just like having to like do precision jumping that I was just like, I may just quit this game, everybody. This game about ninja that's literally for me, that's literally made for me.
Yeah, and that's Celeste is precision jumping to a fucking T. Like, oh my god, you gotta be
dashing,
so good at it.
It's all you're doing a lot of like navigating through like things that can kill you in one hit that are on all sides of you, and it's just
a lot of people have been able to beat it and get a rhythm down. It's just having the patience to get one down, I guess.
It's like Super Meat Boy. Yeah. Like it's very
I loved Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, I know I know JD you do. So like this will be right up your alley because like it's very much like that in terms of like how precise you need to be with your platforming and how fast and that flow that kind of Jeff brings up, getting into that like that pattern.
It's there. It's just having the patience to. It's like, you know what? I'll just watch a movie. It's like
exactly.
I'll just pay attention full on to a movie. How about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go play Pokemon for the 100th time.
Celeste is one that I mentioned the games for Impact, and The Missing was one that got nominated, and Celeste I think won because it's ultimately it's a story about like mental health, kind of similar to The Missing, but less dark, I would imagine. Not killing yourself over and over again. But Celeste, it's just interesting that you would attach a message to a game that doesn't. I don't know. Not everybody can play. That's the interesting part to me. Like Kyle and I suck at it. We have no idea what the message is in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just funny to me. Anyway, Kyle, what's your number 7?
My number 7, we pushed earlier. It's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yay! Push for me.
What do you mean to put? You can't out Nintendo cuck me.
Hey, look, it's not my fault. I played fewer games this year.
No,
that's a good point.
This is, and I'm putting it higher just out of spite. Then, so no.
All right, that's cool.
That's fine.
It's cool.
No. Kyle,
by the way, that's one of my favorite series of all time, and then like Super Smash Brothers Melee is like in my top 10 favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
So like it being so low doesn't mean anything about the quality. It just means how fucking crazy of a year it's been.
Well, I had it at 10, so clearly it means something about the quality for me. Like clearly it's because it sucks.
You hate it. I don't even know why you represented it. So
why even bring it up? Why even fucking do it?
Oh man. So my number 7. It's the game I've been pushing for eternity. It's A Way Out. That's my number 7.
Oh, great.
It's kind of, I guess you would call this one an indie because the studio isn't huge, but the distributor is, I guess.
Yeah.
So I love this game, man. Like I think Kyle and I played it, right? Yeah, you and I played
it all the way through it together. Yeah,
we beat it together, and then I tried to play it a little bit with my brother, and I switched players on that one. That's where
I played it through a second time with another as the other person.
Oh, nice.
Can I just say, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but I won both times.
You fucker.
I know.
So you did get both endings, so that's cool.
So I got to see both endings, which was really rad.
And they're both bummers, I'd imagine. Like, I mean, that one we had was like
fun. It's all none of it's fun.
Yeah. The one we had, I felt was like the quote unquote right one, but at the same time, I was like, nah, I still feel kind of dirty. Like it still feels wrong.
The whole thing felt wrong. Yeah. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. Greatest third act of a game, like just all year for sure. And just like it's the things that like you've maybe always thought about or didn't know you wanted in a co-op game. Like just how to end a co-op game. It's very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it's like the this is the same guy in studio that did Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So clearly what was that?
Great game.
Yeah, great game. Awesome. Yeah. I thought you were like correcting me on like what game it was. I was like, oh shit, did I fuck that up? But clearly this dude has like a knack for like giving you gameplay that's familiar but unique. You know what I mean? Like it's clearly a multiplayer experience, but it has to be played multiplayer. And then there's that whole thing in the third act.
Everything makes
unheard of.
Absolutely. But the whole game just makes sense. Like there's one puzzle where it's just like you and I approach a door and it's obviously a door we have to hit at the same time. Yeah. But we can't alert the guards, but there's a storm going on and it's all
with the lightning.
Immediately you're like, "Oh, you have to sync it up with like the lightning and then hit at the thunder," you know? So we open the door right at the sound of the thunder and it's just like it's all telegraphed so well. Like it's just the game it's really rad, man. Like it keeps up a really good pacing. Yeah. You and I were never like stuck just going, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Yeah, there was no, let me pause it in YouTube what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's because of the co-op experience that we were able to move along pretty quickly in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were talking to each other going, oh, you have to do this.
There are multiple ways to do everything too. Yeah. So you could do everything in a couple different ways. So that was kind of nice.
It presents you two options on sometimes, like where you can go above and drive the car at one point, or climb under the bridge or whatever.
Right.
Which you and I did the climb under the bridge. Me and my brother did the car thing, and that went by way faster.
I did the car thing the second time too. I was like, ooh yeah, Jeff and I fucked up.
Because it was so slow, and like you had to avoid lights, and sometimes your dude would get a dizzy spell. It was bullshit.
He was afraid of heights or whatever.
I was like, man, we fucked up. But it's cool. Right. I like having that different, I don't know, slight differences and stuff. Same third act stuff happens more or less, but the path to get there is slightly different, which is cool. I'm not sure, JD. I'm not sure how far you got in the game, or if like you just kind of like watched gameplay or whatever. But like, did you see all the prison? There's a lot of prison movie references in the game. I don't know if you caught any of those.
The whole thing was shot.
I watched a couple gameplay videos on it. I never got my hands on it. I was pushing my brother-in-law to get it so that we could play it together, because you can share that.
Only one of you need to get it.
Yeah, you can share that. So I definitely want to try it, and I want to experience it with somebody else that hasn't experienced it yet either. Also, I feel like that's
part of the charm.
For the first time, I want both of us to be going through it together. That's how I like my
it's
co-op
really
stuff.
When you see full frontal dick for the first time in the game, you're like, whoa, it's really going for it.
Hey, so glad I got the pro, bro. Oh my god.
Oh shit, I love that part.
Everyone who hasn't played that game thinks I'm kidding too. That's
I know. Right?
I know you're not.
It's in the it's at the very beginning too, so you know what type
the
of
game just starts. You're just like, this is the kind of game we're playing, all right?
Yeah. Here's Dick, 5 minutes in. Unless you're like dicking around. Me and my brother just like we're dicking around the whole time, like just running around, like getting shoved by guards telling us we're not supposed to go
over there.
Just go over there. And we're like, well, I want to go. And then as soon as I had my dick out, I made sure to have it out as long as possible, more or less.
Of course, you have to.
Of course.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, you have to face the right way in line. Nope. Yeah. No, thank you.
Nope. Here's my dick. Look at it. I love the part where you're chipping away at you're trying to like navigate your way out of or get your prison cell ready so you could escape it when everybody's asleep. And I love that part, dude, where you have to like switch.
But you're passing,
you're passing the tool, and one of you is keeping watch, and the guard comes by and stops in front of your cell. You don't have the perspective
as the other guy who's using the tool of where the guard is, so the other person has to be on lookout for you.
Right.
The thing is if you're not playing with someone that you know and has a mic, you ain't gonna beat the game.
No, you're not. You really have to communicate with this game, and that's the interesting part about the ending too.
And which may be the best part in the whole game, where you're on the river and it's just like you're screaming left and right at each other.
You were definitely doing that with me because I could not grasp the mechanic at all. Like, and you were definitely doing that with me because I could not fucking figure it out. And you were definitely carrying the team on that one. Like, it was just you do it, Kyle. I can't fucking figure this shit out. And we eventually got out of it, but like
we did. Yeah,
I'm surprised we did though, because it was so fast paced. Like, eventually the flow, the current picks up so heavily that
there's so many rocks that you're avoiding. So many it's very stressful.
I was surprised.
It all ends in this very Uncharted, like you're getting off just in time.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I was surprised that we got through that part the amount of times I think we only got like hit a rock or whatever once, and we had to start over. But that's just because how fast that scene goes, and you have to react so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man,
it's such a good scene though.
Such a good. I love all the prison movie references. Like when you're on top of the roof, literally like tarring it, because they did that in Shawshank, and they're talking about getting beers or whatever, and they do that in Shawshank. You know, like there's so many Shawshank type things going on in this. Just little references to, like, I don't know, just the design of the game reminds me of Shawshank in certain ways.
Even the way you get out is pretty Shawshank. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no Zowatanejo, but so I don't know why I said it like that, but that is the name of the fucking island they go to. Spoilers on the end of Shawshank. Anyway, so that was my number 7. So JD, what's your number 7?
I got a little bit of time in on this one. Monster Hunter World at number 7.
Yeah, that's a push. But it's my number 6, though, so we can just talk about it right now.
Oh, yeah, we can just chit-chat about it right now, yeah.
Yeah, this game doesn't seem as insurmountable for me now after playing God of War for some reason. Like, I was so fucking intimidated fighting these big-ass monsters as this little dude. I had no idea what to do at all.
Yeah. The game's very, like, mechanics heavy. It's very intimidating.
Yeah, it's a little nuts, but I hope now that I'm kind of getting back up to speed on playing some of these new games, I'm gonna give it another go over at my brother's eventually and kind of dig into it a little bit deeper. I had no idea how big this franchise was, man.
Huge. Like, it's not huge here. It's big in Japan.
My friend is like he's probably the only person I know that might be on your level as far as his love of Japanese games. He's a coworker, and he
Battery
was telling
guy.
me,
It's not Battery Guy.
No, not Battery Boy.
Okay, thank God.
No, he will always, forever and henceforth, always be referred to specifically as Battery Boy.
Yeah, even if nobody knows what we're talking about, just trust us. It's an earned nickname.
It's bad. This guy works over in Lone, so we talk every now and then. And he's been playing Monster Hunter World like on like the old 3DS versions that were only Japanese. Mm-hmm. He had a version that would play them or something. He got like a mod for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he's talked up the lore and everything, and it's kind of got me hyped to get back into it and get my hands on this one a little bit more. It's fun, man.
It's really fun. I really like the level design in this game. Like when you get plopped into a world, like after you run a few monster runs in that game, after you put about 15 hours into that game, you're like, I really understand this quadrant or section or whatever, of the world. Yeah. And you start learning where all the shortcuts are, which are shortcuts everywhere, like underneath vines or climbing up stuff. Like there's always a faster way to get somewhere, and I like the whole idea of, this was not in the original games. They really streamline a lot of features in this game. So like once you like pick up on the scent of like your kill, you'll always have like a waypoint to it. So if it runs away, like you always kind of know where it goes. Whereas in the old games, if it runs away and you don't paintball it to like track it, it's lost. Like you have to find it again, So it's like they really streamline that part. And the only thing, like part of the hunt, it's really natural. I wrote a really good review on this game, by the way. It's one of the best reviews I think I've ever written. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm not proud of a lot of them, and that one I was really proud of. And I explained like in that one how like there's this like really methodical like part of the hunt where you're like finding its dung and like stumbling upon like its footprints, and like as you're accumulating these clues, like you're getting a harder waypoint to like your kill, And then finally, as you find like the final clue or the final set of clues or whatever, like it'll give you like that hard like waypoint to them, and you'll find them, you'll see them. And it opens up into these just fucking epic battles where you can like do stuff in the environment, like you can shoot stuff up top and like have things drop on the enemies, or have them run into certain pillars and the pillars fall down on them. Like there's so many different like environmental ways you can like harm the baddies, and you're trying to lop off their tails and like break certain parts of them to get certain pieces so you can make certain armor. And it's just this nice like this gameplay loop where you're just like killing a big thing, wearing its skin so you can go kill a bigger thing and then wear its skin. So you can go kill a bigger thing and wear its skin. And it's just it's this really nice progression system. It's very similar. You're doing the same thing the whole game, and that's what loses a lot of people is the grind or the repetitive nature. But like every enemy is like different, and like the tactics you have to go after them is different. So like, yeah, you have the same tools, but you're using different tools for every enemy, So it's a great game. It's one of my favorite co-op experiences I've ever had. And I was playing it for like 4 solid months every night. I think I have about 200 hours in that game, which is insane. That's for the whole year. Like that's completely insane. I fucking love it. I really enjoyed it. Rolled credits on it. It was the first Monster Hunter in a long time that I got all the way to the end. So very
Damn.
cool.
How long was that? How long did that take?
I think I got to the end at about the 100-hour mark, maybe like the 90
Wow.
100-hour mark, and then
Yeah.
I did about 100-hour event game stuff. So because there's a whole other game after the credits roll. Like now it's like you're a master hunter, and then you're doing like even bigger hunts, and it's fucking crazy, man. And they had a really good like service or like community where they kept on like giving more new monsters like every month or so. Like, all right, you have a new hunt, and then they would do like these really cool crossovers with other things. So you were hunting with behemoths from Final Fantasy 15 and other monsters from other games, and now you can play as like Geralt, in The Witcher. There's a crossover with that now.
Oh, that's fun.
I think you could play
Sweet.
as Ryu, in one of the crossovers. So just a lot of cool, and it's all free, So like they did, Capcom did that game right. We're gonna see another big game like that, from them for sure.
Nice. I have no attachment to that series. That's why I'm been silent. Sorry, everybody. Sorry to disappoint. That's
It's just too much game, man.
That's a game that games super hard, even like by my standards. Like it's just too much. I know it would be demanding of my time.
It requires your life. Yeah.
I know I would have had fun with it. Probably multiplayer, like co-op and stuff, because I know that's an element. That's a big element of it.
It's the element. Like this game is so co-op focused. Like you can't just do it alone. Like you need people. Even if you're not playing with friends, you can just shoot up. And I hope this isn't racist, but when you see just Japanese caricatures, like kanji come up or whatever, you're like, oh cool, we're gonna win this time. But anytime you see like Bomb Hitter 69 or Dave, I Love America 43 or whatever, you're like, cool, we're gonna fucking fail. Like we're not, us Americans just suck at that game, but Japanese live that game. They would just carry you through the hardest fights. I would almost rather play with strangers from Japan than anybody I knew, because they were so much fucking better than anybody I knew or was playing with.
That's awesome.
Doesn't make it not true though. If it's a little racist, doesn't mean it's not true. I don't know. Though.
I don't know.
It's like a good race. It's like
I guess.
It's like Marshall's dad having the kind racism about the Korean neighbors having an umbrella. Koreans always have an umbrella. It's like
they're always prepared. Yeah.
It's a weird kind stereotype.
And then it gets validated later because guess what? They did have an umbrella.
They did have an umbrella.
Shame on How I Met Your Mother for enforcing stereotypes like that.
I know.
We should all hate that show now.
Some bullshit. That show's just unwatchable now because of that.
And Barney Simpson's such a fucking pig.
Oh my god, he's such a pig. And the way he treats women, it's like that actor hates women.
Yeah.
You guys get it. All right.
I get it.
So my number 6 is another cucky indie game. Played it on the Switch. It's so my Switch game is higher than everybody else's. It's not exclusive to the Switch though, so I guess I'm still not a cuck. But it's Flipping Death is my number 6. Made my list that high. Made that much of an impression on me.
What is Flipping Death?
Flipping Death is by the developer Zoink, who did Stick It to the Man and Faye. And this game has like the aesthetic of like a Nightmare Before Christmas type. I don't know, that type of Tim Burton-y type of game where it's like a gothic comedy where like the dialogue is very, which there's voiceover too. I mean, it's not like you read everything. There's voiceover. So it reminded me also of what's the game where you draw shit? Scribblenauts. Reminded me of that a little bit because the amount of freedom that you have in Flipping Death. That's what it reminds me of. Because the way that the game starts is you play a lady, a woman or whatever who I can't even remember what she was initially doing until she became Death. But basically she dies and then approaches Death to say, hey, you made a mistake. I shouldn't be here. And he's like, oh, are you the temp? Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm out of here. Here you go. And, do your job right or whatever. So she just becomes Death by mistake. And that's like more or less the rest of the game. But your abilities as Death are really cool. Like your is it called a Skaith or whatever that he has? You can kind of throw it and then teleport to wherever you just threw it. That's cool. You can also the underworld is kind of like a mirror of the real world, I guess you would say, like wherever you die or whatever and go.
that's more or less in this game. It's a mirror, so like you can kind of see through the other side and see that there's real people on the other side, alive people, and you can like take over their body and stuff and hack their mind and stuff and read their minds, which is kind of fucking zany and shit. Like you basically you have to like find whatever amount of souls are basically coins in the game. So you have to like find souls which are just kind of floating around. And when you claim them, you have to spend a certain amount of souls to take over somebody's body. To possess them is the word I'm looking for. So you can possess them. And when you take over their body, like each person has a certain tick that they do, which will kind of help you solve puzzles or something, like solve somebody's murder or whatever. Like this one guy, he kind of pokes things or whatever. It's stupid. It's like stupid ticks, though. It's not like super serious stuff like this guy can fucking pick locks. It's not that type of shit. It's like stupid shit. Like this one guy, if you read his mind, all he talks about doing is poking people. So cool, he pokes people. So you can use him to flip a switch that'll, trigger like an elevator from going up and down or whatever. So it's just like little shit like that. But you can like totally read the minds of anybody that you see as long as you have enough souls collected. It's like a funny game. There's a lot of style to it. I would definitely recommend watching a playthrough of it because there's no explanation that could do it justice. It's really cool, man, and it's really funny. I gravitated towards it like immediately. I played like the first level where you have to solve the murder of somebody, and that was just a blast, dude. And the game gives you hints too. Like if you're stuck, you just look at it. The hint is like a still of what your next task would involve, and you can kind of figure out where to go from there. So it's definitely meant like for all ages, but yeah, it's fucking awesome. The game caught me by surprise. That's why it's so high on my list. My 5 though is unwielding and unchanging. So JD, what's your number 6?
I put this one at 6 because I really want to get to it. Kyle talked about it a lot. Yeah, it's clearly terrible. No, I want to get back into Assassin's Creed, and I feel like this one's going to be a good one to get into for me. There's something about God of War and going through all of its lore and everything. I'm just kind
Odyssey?
of the new one.
That's a push,
I'm
isn't
pushing
it? We're pushing
that.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, is that your number 6?
Yeah.
It's my number 5. Let's talk about it, baby.
Oh, okay. I already played the song though.
Let's talk about it, baby. Woo!
Do you have
By
it
the
at
way,
5,
everybody, this is as high as it deserves to go.
I was about to say that. That is the correct highest placement possible.
There is no more higher should this game have gone. This is it. With all the games that came out this year, 5 is what it deserves. All right. I just wanted to get that out there.
And
Great
Kyle, for you, this is a huge deal for Assassin's Creed.
And like I liked where I was like, Origins was pretty good, and like I liked the setting and it was pretty good. I really liked this game. I loved Odyssey, but I'm gonna let JD talk first because this is number 6, so it's his turn.
Well,
so.
I'm curious to get into it. I've played the earlier Assassin's Creed entries, and they're fun, but they're kind of dated now. So I'm not really like looking to go back and complete the whole thing. I'm just like, there was something about going through Kratos' backstory once I started getting into the Norse stuff in God of War. Because I've never played really any God of War game before.
Did you go back and read anything, or?
I went back and watched a ton of YouTube videos on this history, and so it's got me
good
like
to have that knowledge.
So, I mean,
when they talk about like, I fucking killed everybody on Earth, you're like, wait, what did he do?
Yeah, I wanted to know because I figured the conflict would come back, and God of War is largely a game about fathers and sons or parents and children, whatever, and that ties into it perfectly.
The sins of our fathers.
And the sins of your fathers and all that shit, man. It's so good. But I want to see something like in Sparta. Like I want to go back and play something that takes place in that era. And so Assassin's Creed is the logical choice. But I don't know much about it outside of some of the gameplay stuff I've watched and what you've said about it. So I should probably shut up now and let you talk.
This game is this game is absolutely incredible, and I really mean that. I think it's one of the better open world games to come out this whole generation. I think it's a real special game in terms that it doesn't even have hidden blades. So it's barely an Assassin's Creed game, and like you only flash to the future like maybe 3 times, and it's fucking annoying every time. Don't get me wrong, because the whole future stuff is just abandon it. It's such a garbage storyline. Like I don't give a shit about the modern day Templars and assassins fighting each other.
So true.
It's nonsense. I don't give a shit about it. Like every time like you take me out of like the animus or whatever, like you completely like break my flow of the game. Like I always stop. Like every time I get to that, I'm like, I guess I'm fucking stopping here, you know, like because I don't want to do this right now. And I do that every time, you know, like so it doesn't even matter like where I'm at, like or how I'm feeling about the game or anything. I saw this one through to the end. It's really good. I even had the season pass. I'm going to play all the the updates that they said they're going to have all year and big substantial story updates. So I'm excited to have like a lot of content for this game.
Yeah.
It's Witcher 3 levels of just like important world, like not world building, but just like world occupancy. Like it just feels like there's something to do right around the corner. You know, there's always a little like thing or question mark to like hit and like, oh, what is this place? There's a never-ending loop there, you know, that's really satisfying, and the pace of the game is very, very quick, and being able to progress and just get through that game, like it's just all very like player-friendly. I like that game a lot, man. It's really good. And the story's great, you know, like the actual story in the game itself, and it even goes to some fantastical moments sometimes, like you're fighting like a Cyclops or whatever, you know. It's kind of cool. I like that stuff, you know. I don't really care about like the real life applications of the current timeline or whatever. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. So,
I can't believe they're still doing it this far in.
I can't either. Like
they could have abandoned that early and just like inconsequential. Like it is weird.
And I always thought it was going to lead up to a game that just all took place in like modern times, which I'm like, no one wants that now, you know, and like. So I'm just like, I don't know. There was no payoff in that regard. But I think this game is really amazing. It does not deserve to be any higher than 5, though. There were truly outstanding, like, game of gaming history games that came out this year.
Yeah, no shit.
And it should never be talked about.
And honestly,
as game of the
to
year
me,
ever.
whenever people put Assassin's Creed Odyssey #1, and I know that like making lists is based on subjectivity and whatnot, but I don't know that people are gonna totally forget that they put it at #1 in like 3 fucking years. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not going to be the game that you think about or talk about, you know? Like, I put Assassin's Creed at #1. What the fuck was I thinking? Yeah. Like,
I've been getting those every year since then. So like, I know they're taking this year off. I know, whatever.
But it's kind of like when Moonlight won Best Picture. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that one in a year. And sure enough, nobody fucking talks about it anymore.
Yeah,
so,
no one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm glad La La Land lost that because nobody talks about La La Land at all.
Actually, I never stopped hearing about La La Land. So,
at least everybody has an opinion on La La Land.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether
everybody
it's the right
does have
one or the
opinions
wrong
on it.
one, they've got one.
But they're still talking about it. That's the point. So.
Yeah, exactly. People are still like taking stills of that movie and going, "Look at this fucking shot right here. It's unbelievable."
Yeah, did you see how beautiful this was? Yeah, we did. Yes, we were there. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I'm still bitter about that. Anyway, Assassin's Creed, I didn't feel comfortable. This and Far Cry 5, it wasn't just my bitterness that people kept fucking elevating those games more than I felt they deserved to be, but it's just I didn't play them long enough to like even talk about them in my 10. Like it just didn't feel right.
There's that Will Smith thing Will Ferrell thing where he's like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. You know, I felt like when people are like Far Cry, it's like top 3 games of the year. I'm like, I feel like what's going on?
we were going into the Game Awards like, I swear to fucking God, if Assassin's Creed wins, like,
yeah, I was actually really afraid that like people were gonna like
so
all
many
the
people were talking
developers
about it.
were like the peer group of the Game Award panel was gonna be like, we should just give this to Assassin's Creed, right? Like a God of War,
oh my God,
you know, Red Dead are gonna win everything else, so let's just give Assassin's Creed Game of the Year. We all like that game, right?
Okay.
So happy they won nothing. I'm pretty sure they won nothing.
I don't think I think them and Spider-Man got shafted, but whatever.
Yeah, Spider-Man didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
They deserve something at least. I don't know what, because, you know.
Just funnest game of the year? I don't know.
Yeah.
Most fun you'll ever have playing a game.
God of War definitely feels like a compromise, but I still love that game. It feels like a little bit of a compromise. Like, in terms of, like, on the podcast that you were on, Kyle, like, it was kind of like a compromise to me. Like, everybody loved Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but
like, God of War won by an average of points, and I was just like,
exactly.
This feels cheap. But I'm glad it happened because it deserves to be at #1.
It's like God of War is winning Game of the Year at all these publications because Red Dead people and Assassin's Creed people won't budge.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that thing that happened on that podcast is the exact thing that's happening at every publication right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the other, like Red Dead and like you're saying, Assassin's Creed people won't budge. They're sandbagging. So the God of War votes.
me not putting it in the list for not having put time into it isn't like a knock on JD or anything, because I know you just started gaming again, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying I played more games, and I put like 2 hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and obviously that's not enough time at all for me to feel comfortable putting it in
everything
in
up to this point. Everything up to this point for me has been like, I'm excited to go back and play it because of either what y'all have said about it or what I've gotten with the eyeball test.
Cool. You're gonna like the
for sure.
Stuff.
Yeah.
They sing like cool, like Greek
I didn't even
chanties.
get that far. Did not get that far at all. I need to do
There's
that.
far in the game. Yeah, you gotta get. It's like 10. That's like 10 hours in. It's kind of far.
I guess I got to get my number 5 now. All right, cool. So this is a AAA adventure now from here on out. Jesus Christ, man. Hold on. Wow, JD, you must have Super Smash Brothers high. I just realized I hadn't talked about that yet.
I played it, so...
Oh, that's true. It's a good point. So my number 5 is not Far Cry 5 or Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Sorry, everybody. You're going to hate me for that. It's also not Sea of Thieves. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves hard on meant for me. Great co-op.
Actually, yeah, it is an honorable mention for me. That was pretty fun. But Forza Horizon 4, man.
Good for you. Yeah. Good for... that should be on my list. I just didn't play a lot of it.
I honestly, people are kind of... They're not wrong. I mean, it's number 5 for a reason. They're not wrong when they say, like, yeah, it's a Forza game. What do you expect or whatever? But it's just so fucking gorgeous, and I could not put it down. I don't know what it is with this one. And Forza Horizon 3 was the same way for me. Like,
I know a lot of people who are saying this is the best racing game. Well, just like they said with the last Forza Horizon. Yeah. So, like, the Forza Horizon fans who keep on playing these games, like, in their eyes, and you're agreeing with this, it sounds like it's getting better every time.
Yeah, I don't even like racing games that much. Like, you would have to pay me money to play a GT game. Like, and honestly, I just don't play those games, dude.
I used to play the shit out of those, man.
I don't, not these days, but I have the new one, GT Sports, and it's fine.
But this is literally like, open world racing, and I love that shit. I eat it up. Cool. You can drive on anything, anywhere. And I love there's like side quests where you can be a stuntman. I love that shit.
Yeah,
I beat
like
all that.
I like that too. Yeah.
I beat everything that had like a story assigned to it, and then after that I went and I could not stop collecting shit, like just stupid billboard bullshit. Couldn't stop doing that. I also collected as many cars as possible. I think I got the deluxe whatever the fuck pack, so I got like all the cars with it. And I couldn't stop like customizing them with like the best looking, like the Jeep I drove around was just a Jurassic Park Jeep, more or less.
Nice,
and,
that's awesome.
And because it rode so well off road, and the speed, it just sped really, like it just honestly, the speed was just really good for it. And I just love the Forzathon shit, like where it just kicks off in the middle of nowhere. You could be out somewhere dicking around, and it's like, hey, there's a Forzathon that's about to happen, and it's really far away. You might want to go there right now because it's going to start in 5 minutes. Go, and it literally does take you like 5 minutes to go there.
Yeah, mad dash there. Yeah, fuck, am I going to get there in time? Yeah.
I'm going to have to go off road, or else I'm not going to make it. Because sometimes I stick to the roads because it's just a smoother ride. Yeah. Anyway, I love just running into shit is just my favorite. Like. Well, literally, and just running into like tasks that you have to do. Because literally, when you run into the walls and stuff, I love the way the stones crumble. It's just a great animation. But second off, when you like find a speed trap or something, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna run that like 3 more times until I get the high.
Yeah, right.
I just love running into shit like that, and it's no different than any other Forza Horizon, like Forza Horizon 3. But it's still, I love that.
Well, and it keeps like all your scores competitive, like off all the people on your friends list. I just like that stuff. But it's like, hey, by the way, this is how this person did. It's like, oh, okay, well. I'm gonna beat that fucking guy's score.
Yeah, exactly. The big thing for this one was seasons, right? Like so.
Yeah. The seasons would change.
Like once a week, the season change. The seasons basically change in order, obviously, but like they change to I think at Sunday or Monday or whatever they start a new season. And I thought that was really cool. But you have to play all seasons like in the story mode or whatever to start unlocking it like that. Which is cool. I enjoyed the actual story of that, and like how at the end of each season you would play an event, like you'd race against one of those giant fucking boat things or whatever, or you'd race against like the Halo event was really fucking rad, where you rode in a warthog, which is slow as dicks by the way in that game and not good at all. But as far as the event was, it was pretty cool. Like you had to race to, I don't know, rescue people or something, even though you never get out of your vehicle to do it. But it was still a cool like event. They had the theme going and everything. I thought that was kind of a cool thing to sneak in there. I'm trying to remember what the last thing was that you raced. It might be a jet or something. That feels like the first one.
Yeah, I thought there was not like a big like plane or something like that.
Yeah, I thought there was something big. I know you race a train
big water, like a big.
Yeah, that was one of like the second or third ones or whatever.
Yeah.
I think maybe motorbikes that are first. I don't know. I know there's an order, you unlock certain things, events or whatever. So I made sure to beat all the events because when you do that, that's pretty much you beat the game, quote unquote, and then you're unlocked and you can go play on servers with people. And that's a blast playing with people. The Forzathon stuff is awesome. It's like 3 events at a time. And you have to beat them within like 10 minutes or so. You get a timer, basically. You get a timer, and you and like whoever shows up, it could be 8 of you, could be 10 of you, 12, could be 4 of you, doesn't matter. Whoever shows up, you all have to go out and rush to wherever this speed trap is or wherever this drift zone is and beat that at a certain score in a certain time frame and then move on to the next event. And there's like 3 of those per Forzathon. And when you beat that, you get... I'm trying to remember what you get. I think it's like spins and stuff. Some of them are like higher end, the ones that are like triple spins or whatever the fuck. I'm trying to remember what that is. But the wheel spins where like you can unlock... That's how you unlock shit.
That's how you get your shit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I like
cool,
that.
Because like you get like a big stack of money sometimes, and you're like, yeah. And then you get like a cool car, and I would never usually buy that or look for that. That's
exactly,
cool.
yeah. I honestly never bought... I don't think I bought a single car. I just rolled.
You don't
shit.
really need to. I mean, like if you wanted to compete in like a certain style of event with a particular car, sometimes I have it wants me to use a rear wheel drive car. I've got a particular rear wheel drive car I like. I don't have it yet. I'll go buy that. But usually I just use whatever I unlock as well.
Yeah, I learned real fast to change my vehicle accordingly. When it came to like sports. Oh, this one's, like a, what do you call it? Like, it's not like, you should use a sports car for whatever. I don't remember what the name of the track is called. But it's like a Grand Prix racing or whatever the fuck. So you want to get the fastest fucking car possible.
Right. Or this one's going to be a lot of like off-road. Maybe I want to get in a pickup truck.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I use my little Jurassic Park fucking Jeep. Good old fashioned. Because every car I got that I would drive regularly, I would always just like make it the best possible drive. Like, I'd mod that shit like crazy. Yeah, man, just super addicting, and like I think I played like 30 hours of it. I just couldn't put it down when I first got it, and I think that was the first one I played to break in the Xbox One X, and it looked amazing on my 4K TV. Blew me away. If you couldn't tell by how much I talked about a fucking racing game, it blew me away. So that's my number 5. JD, what's number 5?
Hold on, I got to sneeze.
Oh.
Okay, I'm good.
We got to push to sneeze.
I'm good. I pushed the sneeze. Can you play the music? So this was a push from earlier, right? Detroit?
Detroit
become human? One of y'all pushed it, right?
Since Kyle's got to go, it's still another push. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
man.
Yeah, so Kyle, what's your number 4?
It's getting pushed. It's Spiderman.
Yeah, it's another slight push. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Number 4. The fuck's wrong? No, I'm just kidding. That's
I'm serious.
Clearly, I hated it.
And clearly, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Everyone knows only top 2 are the games you like.
So yeah, JD, Detroit. Become Human is my number 4. And whatever, it sucks. The story just goes in predictable places. Stupid sci-fi.
I like when
that's
people
what I
go, I hate the ending. It's like, well, you chose it.
You chose it. Yeah, fuck you.
There's like 7 endings, so... well, I just hated mine.
Man.
Like, well, should have done better. I don't have to tell you,
Kyle, did you finish your Bad Decisions playthrough?
I did, yeah. So
Yeah.
I have beaten this game 3 times. It should be higher than it really is. I never usually beat games that many times. I beat it 1 time seriously, and I got a really good ending.
Same.
1 time, another seriously, and I got like the other, like I would say, like you go to either a pacifist pass or I'm gonna kill everybody, like pass. And I did both like good versions of that, and then I did one where I was just trying to kill everybody as quick as possible. And that game you can beat in about 3 or 4 hours if you're trying to murder everybody.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
That's pretty
it's
amazing.
about a 10 to 12 hour game. If you're really like playing seriously.
And I think
but, yeah.
Connor
You
would
could-
be the last one, right? I would
He's
imagine.
impossible to kill. Yeah, but like you
because
can
they just
kill him.
redesign
You
them.
can get it. It eventually happens. Yeah.
You get there.
That guy just keeps fucking coming back, man, like a goddamn cockroach.
Yeah, man, I love the shit out of this game. I think this is the best that this type of game has ever looked, where, it's a David Cage game where its mocap is doing a lot of the acting and the voices. I think it's just the best that technology has ever looked, honestly. Like, it felt like
at certain points, I'm like, oh, that's the actual fucking actor. You know, like it's just crazy.
Especially not Warden, but
Clancy
yeah,
Brown, is that his name?
Clancy Brown, yeah.
Yeah, especially him where I'm just
Hank.
like, that's the real fucking guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I see the uncanny valley there a little bit, but yeah, there are moments where they look just uncanny from their actual performers.
And I think a lot of people that kind of shat on some redundant parts of Beyond Two Souls, which I didn't think were redundant, but whatever. I think they kind of he more or less got rid of that shit. Like you do some of that as the maid android at the beginning, but they pretty much do away with that immediately. Like you just do chores
Kara
once.
is her name?
Kara, yes. So as
Maid
Kara, you do
android.
chores one time, and then shit hits the fan, and it's that way for everybody. Like you know what I mean? Like it just progresses in a way where you're never gonna get bored with doing stuff. I think.
By the way, she's the easiest to kill. By the way,
She's super at the very beginning, you just not do anything.
Just put down the controller. Yeah, you'll
Just
die.
put down
I
the
promise.
control. You'll feel gross, but
Yeah, you're gonna feel real gross about it. That entire playthrough was just me, and because me and Bino streamed that game together that way, it was just me looking at Bino going, "This is not as entertaining as I thought it'd be." Just feeling gross, knowing that everybody was watching was kind of like, "What the fuck's wrong with these people?"
And your guy, I apologize that we didn't go into spoilers for A Way Out, but we're probably going to do that for Detroit, so I apologize. Maybe skip ahead for 5 minutes or something if you're listening. But you one listener out there. For Detroit, I don't think your Kara's owner or whatever. He didn't get closure in any of your playthroughs, did he?
No, but I know there is a way that he does get closure.
Yeah, he did. He did in mine. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, he did in mine. Basically, you had to find a way to reason with him with the facts that you have kind of unveiled through your playthrough as Kara. Like, if you didn't discover these things when you played as Kara, then you never got the options to say those things to him, and he would flag somebody down and get you guys in trouble.
Pretty sure just killed him both times.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Pretty sure.
Damn.
I think so.
I don't know what it was. I think I just felt the urgency to run, and I just ran. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, ran the first time and then killed him the second time, but the third time, actually the second time was my bad playthrough. I tanked it. I was just like,
so he
okay,
never got
everything's
that
being really
closure,
dire.
yeah.
I'm just gonna put my controller down.
Like she basically tells him his story back at him to get closure, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what it is," and then he's crying, and he just lets you go. You know, like that. So that was like a cool. I got a lot of cool moments in mine. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I fucked up with Hank big time
I
in
did.
mine. But
I got a really good story with Hank, and by the time that Hank and Connor have at the very end, where he's like, "You're gonna die, Connor," it's fucking sad, dude. Hank really doesn't like them types, if you will.
Mine
And,
was exceptionally dark. Mine, Hank shot my guy, and when you get shot by Hank in your gameplay, your playthrough, you can't come back from that. Like there's no Hank will just not trust you. He'll be impressed by certain things you say, like if you start to become aware or whatever. But like he just, in terms of your relationship, is forever damaged.
You're two in the hole.
Yeah, exactly. So that was fucking rough.
I think he came and saved my Connor at the end. Like he popped in and just really saved the day at the very last second.
Oh,
just
damn.
Fucking Hank, man.
I can't even remember what happened to Connor at the end of mine. I remember what happened to Marcus at the end of mine. Mine made me cry with Marcus. Jesus Christ, dude. Like there's a standoff where he's about to get fucking wasted and stuff. And I think you had him in yours kiss the girl, which makes sense.
I was really
She's
going
fine.
for that relationship the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did get that. I did get that rewarding love angle. Like they were clearly in a relationship together. They're clearly fucking each other with robot parts.
dude, Android fucking.
Yeah, they were Android fucking.
Robot.
But at the end, I decided to have him sing, and every single one of the androids started singing, and it just I was like, holy shit, this is gonna make me cry, dude.
I did watch that one, and that's a good ending.
Yeah, that's that's powerful shit. And then when they were all like, okay, well, let's leave him alone, I was like, goddamn right. I was like, if you went another way, I would have been so mad. That singing shit was gorgeous. Oh,
so
man.
You can kill Marcus, and when Marcus dies, you pick up as the girl.
Interesting.
His love interest. Yeah. So in my playthrough, when I killed Marcus, it was like, that's a wrap, everybody. Everyone's dead. And then you just keep on going through. I was like, well, fuck.
That's fucking rad, though.
Dude, there's a whole other character you can play as if you really tank it really hard like I did. So
wow. I'm interested to play that, because she had a good reason to be angry.
Yeah, she
Very
did,
good reason. Man, Man, it's just such a fucking cool game, man. Creating
Super good.
all these types of discussions, and on top of it, playing well, because it didn't feel like it's not responding to my buttons or whatever. Like if you fucked up your game, it's kind of on you, you know. Like
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I loved it, man. Every second of it, it was great. I honestly should play it again, but it's just I know it's a time suck. A little, it's like 10 hours or whatever, but you know it's. When you got like other shit going on, it's kind of like I can't play that. I don't have time to play that again. Even though I did start God of War over again, but whatever. Fuck you guys.
You started over with all your gear or on a harder mode?
Did you new Game Plus it or?
No, I just started the shit over on the same fucking. I think.
come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm just not good at the combat stuff. I just play it for the story.
Yeah, right. You'll be that much stronger. You know?
I'm definitely going to go through and play it on hard again. I never switched it off of
Did you beat it?
Yeah, man.
Oh, thank God. We're going to spoil the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I beat it at like 3 a.m. So
Because we never got to talk about it, and we're gonna definitely talk about it, so people can just fucking get bent if they didn't play it. So.
Chill.
Did you end up getting Spider-Man or?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why would you ask Kyle? Because you know you. Yeah. Yes, I have it, and I've played a little bit of it here, and I've played a few hours over at my brother-in-law's too.
Oh, okay, so we'll avoid spoilers on that then. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll
please
make it sure.
Please
but
do.
yeah, the top two
for Detroit.
Our top two games are.
We'll give a spoiler warning, but like, we're gonna spoil those games.
Just letting you guys know, top two games are gonna be fucking spoiled to shit. All right.
Because the details need to be addressed just to show people how wrong they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot wait to tear that shit apart. Those stupid ass criticisms. Anyway, JD, you did put Detroit in there like as a game you want to play because you've seen enough of it or whatever.
Yeah, that's my number 5. So I had Mario Party on this list, so I fucking took that shit out, and I just wanted to put an actual.
What'd you do that for?
Huh?
What'd you do that for? It was probably fun.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's fine, but I mean, I've had more hands-on with even some of these games that I haven't played all the way through yet. Like I've put about 2 hours into Mario Party, but I've seen enough of Detroit Become Human. I watched a lot of your bad playthrough videos, Kyle.
Oh, did you?
So yeah, I'm familiar enough with it. I'm not worried about spoilers. Like I'm still going to go through and do my own thing with it eventually when I do pick it up. But it looks gorgeous, and like you were saying, the mocap and stuff really impressed me. And I haven't played too many games like this, you know.
You know, like it was good in the last game too, but like when you go back and like even whenever you first played, oh my God, Heavy Rain, like you're just like, whoa, the voice acting in this game is awful.
Yeah. Those pretend accents, they're terrible.
It looks cool.
What was I going to say? We're at so that was my number 4. So JD, what's your number 4?
All right, this is where Smash Brothers landed for me. So we can finally talk about that. Fucking love this, man.
Yeah.
And my favorite character, Ike, got a little bit of a speed boost. So I'm a fucking beast.
He did get a speed boost.
Because Ike is one of those guys that was like brute force and timing, and he was just slow and clunky in the last one. And man, he is slick, and I love this game. I can't wait to get a Switch and finally get my hands on it so I can play the single player mode on it. But every time I get my hands on it over at my brother-in-law's, man, it's amazing. Fucking love it.
Damn, man.
With all these characters I've never heard of before, you know.
That's for me too.
It's weird. It's so weird to have this attachment to 150 people you've never seen before.
I know, yeah. They got so creative with some of these characters.
They really did.
Yeah, people like I'll read somewhere, oh, that's a Fire Emblem character, and I was like, yeah, I never would have known that because I never played those games, never will.
Yeah, if the character has a sword, they're probably from Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's the main person I'm playing as, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, name Marth Ike.
Yeah, Marth.
Is it Marth? Yeah. Marth's always he's the first
Marth was good.
character we had. Him and Roy. Marth and Roy are mirror characters. They're good. Yeah, I like that.
Marth is more nimble than Ike for sure.
He is. He's very nimble. Very much so. I love this. Nintendo. This becomes like a museum for Nintendo. Like these games, like when you unlock things, and you're seeing things. You're just like, oh my God! Like, oh man, look at this! And like you'll get like, cards. Just like really detailed looking, like 1-up mushrooms. It just becomes like this like cool art. For like Nintendo, and now it's like an art for video games. It's an art museum for video games because now all this other shit is packed in there. Like I was playing the adventure mode, and like there's this mission where I'm unlocking Otacon from Metal Gear Solid. He's a card that he'll help you if you equip him as like your spirit. Like he'll help you do something to like beat a character later or whatever.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just stand in the locker and piss himself.
No. I mean, like you never fight as him. He's just like he becomes part of you. Like you would just equip him.
That's cool.
Like he has like a stat boost that he gives your character to kind of like surmount some kind of like character maybe that you're fighting down the line.
All right.
But they theme the fights though to get him. You fight a Metal Gear, and the only robot they have in the game is Rob the Robot. So you fight a Rob the Robot that's 3 times the size that he's supposed to be. And it's just clever shit like that, So like you're always fighting something that kind of relates to the character you're unlocking, but within the context of the characters that are in the game. So they just do a palette swap. They make them bigger or smaller or whatever, And they do that for so many other things. That's just my favorite example,
That's
so like.
Cool.
There's so many great things. Like maybe you're fighting like this guy, and like halfway through the match, like you reverse your controls reverse. It really throws you off. You may not be able to beat that fight, but you can like turn around and go a different path, and you may unlock something that makes your controls irreversible. So you can go back to that fight and just beat it really easily. And that's the whole adventure mode. Is just like running into kind of roadblocks and going, oh, I need a character that's gonna like help me surmount this fight. And I like that. It's a really involving. I mean, I'm putting 10 hours into the story mode already, and I'm nowhere near beating it. Like it's it's very, very, very girthy, and maybe that's not the right word, but it's very,
no, that's right.
Girthy.
Girthy's always the right word.
Use it more. Use it more.
Yeah, fuck it. Girthy and veiny,
there's
and
a lot of girth to this game.
It's very erect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. It is really hard at some points too. Some of the
At some points, yeah. Some of them are like, okay, fuck this. I'm going a different path. Yeah.
I right now am using Link the most, which is crazy because I have not used Link since the very first game. They've just kind of like they kept on like not mistreating him, but like changing little things and ways. I'm like now I'm using him a lot. I use Sheik a lot too. I use Ike probably the most whenever I'm doing 4-player or up battles, which I've done a lot of 8-player battles. That's fun.
I haven't done 8 yet, man.
Oh,
that'd be awesome.
Great. It's chaotic. Especially if you choose a really small like map. It's just like, dude, would you choose that map for? There's 8 of us. Like
8 of us.
Fucking, we're all
everybody just jumps off the platforms. Fuck this.
It's really hard to keep up with your character on any map, but it's a lot of fun. I love this game. I haven't played it enough to know if it's like the best Smash game ever. I'm not there yet, It's there are always little tweaks and stuff like that change it, whether it's like how fast characters fall, how fast they are in general. There's one game they just added you tripping for no reason. Like there's just a random trip element. Sometimes your character would just slip and fall, and they would leave you completely open to attack, and it just like that's like adding luck elements like that, or random elements like take away the competitive nature of that game.
Yeah, what is this, Mario Party?
Stupid.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just really dumb. Like you don't need to there doesn't need to be blue turtle shells in this game. You know what I mean? Like you don't need a thing that just like makes someone fuck up without with no control over them. So that's not in this game, thankfully. So so far everything feels good. I like Wolf a lot. I feel like Wolf got changed and nerfed really hard in this game, so like I don't use him too much. So he's the bad guy in Star Fox, if y'all.
Oh, okay. Thank you. By the way, did you play any Starlink? By the way, or
Starlink is good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Okay, I've been thinking about getting that for some reason.
It's fun. Yeah, if you see it for $30 again on Switch, like pick it up because it's on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of getting it on, so I can play Star Fox.
That's what you want. That's what you want to get it on, so you can play a Star Fox. I think it's fun. It's like all the best parts of No Man's Sky, like just flying in and out of the world with no loading. Up in space. There's 4 completely different planets. They all look completely different, have different feels to them and everything. And when you make landslide, like your ship becomes like more like a hover tank or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't transform or anything. It just kind of acts more like a hovering across the surface. You scan like flora and fauna, and you do missions and fight giant freighters in space, and you get ambushed by pirates in space, and it's cool, man.
That sounds fun. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious on that. Super Smash Brothers is my number 10, and honestly, probably should have been higher now that we're discussing it because this was my first exposure to a Smash Brothers game. Honestly, like I didn't own any. I had the. What? No, I don't even think I own the Wii. I played the Wii a lot. Like I played in terms of like Wii Sports or whatever, but like not anything Smash Brothers related. Pretty much never. Or Mario Party. Never played that either. Like up until Christmas break because my nephews and nieces got it.
That's cool. Still haven't played it.
Yeah, they got a Switch, man. They got Smash Brothers, Mario Party, and Lego Incredibles, which is one of my honorable mentions. I actually like that game because there's just a lot of Disney shit in that game. It's really fun. Just Lego games are my shit. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're just dumb. I just like
Especially on
them.
the Switch now, they're so great. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's perfect for the Switch.
Man, perfect pooping game. You know, I gotta get some
Absolutely.
bricks. All right, let me just.
And
do
that's the
this real
thing.
quick.
Super Smash Brothers. I just kind of honestly wrote it off as like, oh, it's multiplayer. I'm not gonna play it. And then Kyle, you clarified that to me, and I was like, cool. Gonna lay down $70 for it right now. Like
Yeah,
literally
there
right
are
now,
two,
gonna pay for
like,
it.
There are two like major like single player modes in this
Yeah.
game. Like one like classic mode for like every character where you can go fight like kind of like specific battles for every character.
I think
And
that's
this
what I'm doing.
giant ass adventure mode, which is nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm pretty much doing the first one you mentioned, where you just go fight for every character, basically. That's the one I'm doing, and
Do it adventure mode next. That's getting you your characters unlocked because every
Yeah.
time you go through that, you unlock a character pretty much.
yeah, for sure. And I still actually even just like that, I just can't stop playing that fucking mode.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's awesome, and I think you brought up this point on Fathers of the Grind podcast where you mentioned that it's just. I think you guys were discussing best visuals, and you mentioned how this one is a mix of all these different games and
did it.
franchises mixed
Yeah.
together.
They're-
And
all of these games
it's
have
seamless.
different art
Yeah.
styles, and it doesn't seem that way when you're playing this game.
Yeah,
How
it
the fuck
doesn't
they
feel
do that?
weird. Yeah.
And they all look like themselves. Like Snake looks like Snake. He doesn't look like cartoon Snake. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's a good
It's
point.
impressive.
yeah. Like how the fuck did they do that? Like everything looks appropriate, but it's also in the same art style, even though they've always been in completely opposite art style. It's just that's really impressive. I don't know how they do. I don't know how they do that. They've been doing that for a long time now. And again, this game just becomes this like ode to everything Nintendo and now video games. This kind of like not swan song, but like this, I don't know, this triumphant kind of celebration of games. And it's a nice collection of cool little things to see and do. And it's a great game, man.
Damn, man, I
it's a
should
great
have put this. Well, I could probably justify putting it higher if I played multiplayer, because that would have been fun to play that with people. I
It's
would
great.
have played that with one of my nephews.
Me and Mark
Sucks
can
at
open up a
losing.
level, and we can all jump into a big group and we can play online. Really?
Oh
easily.
yeah, fucking forgot about online.
I'll chat through.
One of
Facebook.
my one of my nephews sucks at losing. No matter how much he loses, he still doesn't get used to it. Not like in an angry way. Like my brother and I would get angry when we lost, if we lost too many times and we felt the game was being unfair to us. We would just lose our fucking shit in an angry way. He fucking cries like crazy.
Oh no!
It's like emotional. Like it's crazy.
How old is he now?
Oh, I've lost count. I have no idea. 6,
Somewhere between
7,
a boy
8.
and a man.
He could be fucking 10. I have no
Boy.
idea. But he just hates losing, and it's just funny because like they've been playing the Switch nonstop since I got it on Christmas, and he's still like that. And it's like, dude, you think you'd be used to it by now? But that's why I haven't jumped on the multiplayer yet with them. It's because like I know I'm going to beat all of them because they're all terrible. They're kids. Hey guys, kids are bad at
you
games.
just don't want to have to hear him fucking cry.
Yeah, I just don't want to have to listen to "you're a jerk" or whatever, because that's what he would say. He would, "You stupid jerk." He
Mr.
gets-
Meanie Pants.
He gets so upset and cry, "You jerk." And you're just trying everything in your
You should
power
be
to
like,
not laugh,
"Get
because you
good,
want
scrub."
I want like my brother and my sister-in-law, or whatever. I want them to be able to be parents, but if I'm laughing and they're like, "You
Yeah.
need to stop crying," it doesn't help when they're trying to be stern with them.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta leave the room because I'm laughing too hard. Like, because it gets funny. You stupid.
When you poop,
You're gonna poop. Why would you
mouth.
say that with your poop mouth? Yeah, Smash Brothers brings out the worst in people. I'm just saying.
that's great.
That Mario Party too. He hates losing on Mario Party, but he
but Mario Party, man, it's so much more up to chance. Like,
Yeah.
It's
I don't
so
know.
luck.
You can't
And dude,
get-
I
can't
pitch
get
fit
mad
that
about
Mario
that.
Party because it's so like up to chance. I'll be like, I have been whooping everybody's ass all game,
Yeah.
and everyone's just getting free stars everywhere they look.
Yeah,
You know,
free
like,
stars.
yeah,
Like, what the
fucking
fuck is this? The
bullshit.
welfare of fucking stars?
Or like whenever you do so
ridiculous.
bad in that game, you get pity stars at the end, and sometimes they can amount to so
Yeah.
much you win. It's like, oh
Yeah.
fuck off! You know, you were in last place the entire game. You
No, I had a
fucking
we had
twat.
a bot win. We were turning it into a drinking game because that's what adults do.
Yeah, of
And
course.
we all had like 2 stars, and the bot had 1, and the fucking bot got both of the reward pity stars at
Yeah,
the
of
end.
course it
Win.
did.
And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? How is that even a thing?
Yeah, you fucking and this fucking game just favors the robot because they're in cahoots together. It's
Yeah,
fucking-
exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking, he's of the system, so
yeah,
fuck you.
exactly. Yeah, favors it. It favors its kind.
Of course.
I'm
That's why I took
glad.
it off my list.
I'm glad I got to show my love for that game a little bit because that was a game I had just completely written off. Yay for diversifying my list a little bit and being cocky and having Nintendo on it. All right. I don't even know where we are anymore. Kyle's number 4 is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So JD's number 4 was Spider-Man. So we
No.
got- oh,
My
not
4 is
Spider-Man,
Smash Bros. So I think we're on
Oh,
Kyle's.
okay. So Kyle's number 3 then. Okay, yeah.
My number 3.
Oh, here we go.
God, yeah, I can already. Yep, see, I can
Here
already
we
feel
go.
it. Yep, I'm sorry, guys. I already have to pre-apologize. It's Yakuza 6. The
Oh,
Song
okay.
of Life.
We're at 6 now. Good.
Well played. Oh, good. It's a different number this time.
Great,
Okay,
great,
cool.
This is the last one. They already actually
is.
moved on to a new franchise called, I don't even remember what it's called, but I'm definitely playing it this year. Judgment or something like that. Something Judgment.
Yeah.
You play a detective, like
Judge Dredd?
solving all the crimes of like Yakuza killing each other. So it's kind of like what's happening on the cop end of like what's happening like in the Yakuza series, but it has no relations or anything. Anyways, Yakuza 6 is fucking good. It's the end of a story of Kazuma Kiryu. It's like the end of this long, 14-year long story that's been going on now. And it really sticks the landing. It's very sad. It's very like in kind of happy ways. Like it's happy sad, but like it just got a really good ending. A really really good story. You guys, I can't express this enough. Like y'all used to like play like Double Dragon and like Final like Fist of Fury and shit like that. Those side scroller like punchy kicky games. That's all this is. Except it's 3D now, and there's a really melodramatic Japanese story painted on top of it. So like these are really fun games. They're often called like the Japanese GTA. Not really true. You're never in cars. Well, sometimes you are actually. Sometimes you're driving cars, but it's not like GTA at all. It's like GTA as in you're in an open space and you're walking to icons that start missions, I guess. So it's like every open world game, if you want to be reductive like that. But it's if that's what makes the connection to get people there. Sure, it's like GTA in Japan, but it's very authentic. Like you can walk in and go to like hostess clubs and like hang out with like girls and like really awkward and pervy like mini games and stuff like that. And you can go to like arcades and play like real versions of complete arcade games at arcade cabinets. It's like this huge Japan street simulator. Like it really like from what I understand, it's pretty authentic. Like from just walking around and just the aesthetic and how everything looks and how everything is and internet bars and stuff like that are still big there that are completely not here anymore. Like LAN cafes, if you will. It's just really weird, authentic, like glimpse into this world over there with this like brutal Yakuza Japanese story on top of it. It's very, very, very cool. Beat Takeshi was in this one, and that was awesome. So,
who were there any New Japan wrestlers in this one? 'Cause that's the
I got
real
that wrong.
that's the real important question here.
Yeah, maybe. There's always
Yeah, you're right.
always
Beat
Johnny.
Takeshi
Every
is a
single-
character in the game.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah,
And I'm
great.
answering my own question. Yes, there were New Japan pro wrestlers in
Yes,
this game.
there were. Yeah, there
Hiroshi
always
Tanahashi, Kazuchika
There always
Okada,
are.
Tetsuya Naito, Tranquilo. Okay.
Maybe that's your way in, Jeff. You're
Yeah,
gonna see
there
a
you
lot
go.
of.
I'm gonna get like 30 hours in and go, where are they?
Yeah, are they? What the fuck? That's like, that's just one fucking sliver of the game. Yeah, man. These games are just. I treasure these games. So I've been playing these games for so long now, and I don't. I guess I do know what they're doing with the series now. With this new Judgment game that's coming out, or if this is the new direction that they're doing. But like.
Yeah, but not
this
for
is a
like
good
how
way to-
long. Like, you don't know how indefinitely that's gonna last.
I don't know. Yeah, this could
Yeah.
just be a one and done. For all I know,
Exactly.
There's a whole samurai series that's a spinoff of the Yakuza series that has never come over here. I say they remake those, like they're remaking the current Yakuza games, and bring those over. We never got to play those, and we could use more samurai games.
I can understand this being so high on your list because you've had an allegiance to the series since whatever the first game was.
But
Yeah.
good, like it's genuinely good writing and storytelling.
Yeah.
It's not like like there's moments where things are like goofy and like things get really like just like you break into a fetish club and everyone's dressed as like man babies. And they're like, hey, you're not dressed as a baby. You obviously don't belong here. So now you're fighting a bunch of men in diapers, but they're all
That's so
there, like, you
ridiculous.
know, being like nurtured as like, you know, in a fetish club, like babies or whatever. It's very weird, you know. And then it'll get really fucking heavy, like a main character will die or something like that, like Game of Thrones style, with just, you know, intrigue and just, you know, cloaks and dagger shit, people betraying each other, and you're just like, fuck, like I miss all the babies and beating up the man children and stuff. What happened to that, you know? So it creates this really cool balancing act. It's a fucking great franchise. It's so underrated, but it's actually getting like a lot of love now. It's getting a lot of traction and sales here, and it's like second coming, if you will.
Coming.
All
right. So my number 3 is Pictures of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Somebody
good.
get me Pictures of Spider-Man. Is this anywhere for you, JD, or?
I mean, it's at number 3 for me, man.
Oh, cool. So we're sync.
Oh yeah, so we synced. Why did I
Yeah.
say that? I'm
Yeah,
stupid.
you should probably
Anyway.
just said synchronized. Yeah.
It sounds like JD and I have the. I was about to say correct, but you know I can't fault you for Yakuza.
You know.
We have the
I don't
same top 3 is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
which is correct. But also, we just have the same top.
I think a Yakuza game was free on PlayStation a month ago,
Yeah,
or
like
2 months
0
ago.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, I
If it's
downloaded
zero,
that
if it's 0, that's a great one to start with.
one. Okay,
or it
Yeah.
might have been 5. I can't remember.
I can't remember. I have no
Five
idea.
is
But I know
not
what you're
PS4
talking
yet.
about.
I wish
But I have it.
That'd be great if it was 5.
I have it.
May have been 1. I don't know. It could have been Kiwami 1.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's
Yeah,
a good place
that
to
came out
start too. So you know.
Yeah, I love Spider-Man. I think this is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories in any medium you can think of. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
barring
but-
comics, because I haven't read every single fucking comic in the world. But in terms of like, even out of movies and like, were there TV shows? I'm pretty sure there were. Didn't see
Yeah.
them. But if I'm picking out of
the
movies
Spider-Man
and games,
animated TV show. Spider-Man.
yeah, that's right. That's where all the pointing. You pointing at me, I'm pointing at you. That's where those
Well, I
scenes
finally
came
saw the
from.
end credit scene, by the way.
Oh, awesome!
I finally fucking saw it because the
Not that
internet
those two
thing.
things have anything to do with each other, but
No.
yes.
So glad I got that out of the way. That was eating me alive.
Good, because that shit was just brilliant.
It's good though. Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, this story is just, and JD will find out. That is just one of the
I will.
best out of, like, if you're picking between games and movies, I would put this up there with like the best Spider-Man story. Into the Spider-Verse just came out though. That's probably one of the better stories.
I'm just gonna say one spoiler: when Uncle Ben comes back as the bad guy, that's
Yeah.
my favorite part.
That's
in
my
the whole game.
favorite part.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Awesome.
surprise, he's Batman or something.
Yeah,
I already
great
knew about
responsibility
that
comes
one.
great death, motherfucker, and he just like starts pummeling Peter Parker. It's so good.
I like the gameplay feels really good too. The swinging around, I think we've touched on before. We've touched on it before in a
Better
previous
than it's
podcast.
ever felt
Yeah,
ever.
better than it's
Crazy,
ever been.
man.
It's
I
crazy
think the
how
last one I
fluid
played was
everything
2.
feels. It's like
The last
crazy.
time I'd ever felt good was 2, so that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, exactly. They had there was a
RPG.
video.
Good.
I highly recommend watching a YouTube video of the guy who invented the swinging mechanics of Spider-Man 2 playing this game for the first time, and how
Yeah.
fucking
Ooh.
giddy he was about
Oh wow!
playing this game.
He's
He
like,
loved
this
it.
is what I wanted.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
Yeah,
oh, cool.
this
You
is
can
like what I
release it and
envisioned.
like do flips and shit, and like he was just so blown away by.
Just
Yeah.
the animation and how the nothing ever chugs like while you're swinging in that game is
Yeah.
the most like one of the most like performing technical achievements of the year, I would say.
Yeah,
it's just
and
like
'cause
it's
it's-
very. So you're doing all this crazy stuff because you can hold a button that makes you do tricks. So
Yeah.
like you swing and you like hold that button, and he starts doing corkscrews and all. I mean, it's so seamless and
Those,
there's
like,
not it
moonsaults
doesn't
and shit,
tug
yeah.
or oh my god, so and he's right into another swing and it's just so it's perfect. Right, skimming off the ground or across the side of the wall or
Yeah.
you know, zipping to, you know, like a lamppost
love
and
that, dude.
springboarding off of it, you know, like it's there's so many great mechanics in this game. It's
I
one of
love-
the great like movement mechanics of our, you know, of
I
gaming.
love pressing. I love pressing L2 and R2 or L2 and R2. L. Is that right for PS4? I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah,
Left
so
trigger,
the-
right trigger,
Actual.
Yeah.
and you can use it to like springboard off of a jump point or whatever.
Yep,
Or,
yeah.
or you can just use it to just kind of sit there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you can just
you can perch,
zip
yeah.
there. Yeah, exactly. I think you have to unlock that when you play further in, JD, to use it as a launch point for jumping.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
But
think I've gotten
when you
it yet.
do, man, you get fucking speed off of that. It's good.
Oh yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
way to just like get a lot of speed really quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Or to recover if you fall. Like that's another thing to unlock
Yep.
is get a recovery jump.
Yeah, I love all the shit you can unlock, dude. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just such a cool.
It just keeps on giving you things,
Such
and
a
you
cool way
get
to
so
build.
many like gadgets.
Yeah.
It's so like
So
at first
many.
I'm like I'm not using half of this stuff, and then like by the end of it you're like, oh, you have to use like all.
Yeah, you
all
probably
of it.
should.
Yeah.
And the DLC forces you to also. By the way, good DLC, with the exception of the screwball stuff feeling very repetitive for across all three. Like in terms of like, okay, I got what she was doing in the first one, and then the second one, it's like the same shit. Okay, cool.
Did you keep showing up in
Whatever.
all three of those?
Yeah, she shows up in all three, and then eventually in the third one, you get like a showdown or whatever the fuck. Yeah, that's it does force you to use like and to get used to using the gadgets in creative ways, which is things like I didn't think about. Like first you throw down the suspension matrix, and then like everybody's up in the air, and then you throw your like webbing at them, and then they go launching across the fucking or whatever. They want you to think of combo ways to use your gadgets, and I'm like, oh cool, I'm gonna use that from now on. Now that I learned it, like it's like fucking awesome. The game's teaching me shit. Never thought of that. There's so many fucking things to talk about this game. I don't even know where to start. Somebody else talk.
I don't really like this game. I had it at 4,
Clearly.
so I hate it.
Clearly you hate it.
So I don't really have much to say other than meh,
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Meh.
which is the most venomous word in the English language.
Venom.
Venom, you get it?
Ven-
He doesn't show up. Don't worry about it.
Venomous. Yeah.
Venom. Gonna get your venom. Gonna drive my pendulum.
Song.
Anyways.
To my venom. Oh, man.
Skibidi-bum.
I just farted and it
anyways.
sounded better than that song.
I love Eminem, but shame on you.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really bad. I loved I love the animation in this. Like I felt like some people were kind of I think primarily because most of the game is played above whatever. Not over the shoulder, but a little further away. And a lot of the game is played like that through the combat and stuff like that. But in terms of like the cinematic stuff, the animation was really fucking good. Like
I thought it was really good. All the performances were good. The voice acting was super good.
Yeah.
I have no idea who voiced Peter, but he was perfect.
Yeah, he was great. Yuri Rosenthal. He's good.
Never seen his name ever before. So I hope he's been doing things, and I'm just ignorant. And if he's not, I hope he continues to do things because I think he fucking nailed it.
It's funny that his name is Yuri Rosenthal, and the person that he is like his cop partner or whatever, his name is Yuri, so he's constantly having to say his own name and shit.
Yeah,
while
right.
doing voiceovers.
Myself, bro. Whoa.
I like almost everything in this game. There are a few missions with like the research like centers that I was just like, oh, this is dumb. A few drone missions that I was like, oh boy.
The pollution thing where it's you gotta fly, you gotta swing through some smog.
Yeah, but if you go too low, you'll suffocate. Fuck off. I'm not into that. So very few like side stuff that I got like very aggravated about. Never got annoyed by any of the collectathon stuff, like because all that stuff kind of had like cool Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like my prototype like web slinger that broke because I was jerking off using it one time. That's not a real one, but
that's not.
it's there's some really good ones in there, and it's just like, oh wow, yeah, oh, this is my first feather from fighting Vulture or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's great. And some good boss fights at the end. Like you get a lot of really back-to-back super great ones where I'm just like, whoa!
And you'll fight two of them at the same time in one of them, and it's like that's fucking awesome. How clever that is.
On. Yeah.
You're constantly dodging.
Like,
but
the boss fights had like patterns to them, and I didn't like that. I'm like, so they're like every video game boss ever created. They have patterns to them.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Once you figure out the pattern, it's like, you can beat them.
Get the fuck out of here. Well, you know what I mean. Like the patterns. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So we're just gonna have to end the conversation.
That's so stupid. Yeah, I agree with people when they say like, it just gets a little repetitive in certain parts, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I mean, it's at least that shit's
never
optional.
Not fun though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like every single time, like even like oh, here's another like construction site I have to fight a bunch of dudes at. Like you're like, oh yeah, but the fighting's really fun. So
yeah, exactly.
What is?
It's on par with Arkham.
Yes.
Like
it is. Yeah, I would even say it's like almost even cooler than Arkham. Like some of the stuff that you're putting off. Like there's some.
And the gadget stuff you can do like in the moment on the fly. Like just fire something at somebody and you're like, holy shit.
When it feels more like, because like Batman, even in the games, are doing like acrobatic feats that like even a regular man just couldn't do. And while it feels like really natural here, because Spider-Man's supposed to be like springboarding off of people and like, hitting a whole bunch of people before he even hits the ground and launching people in the air. It makes sense for his character. So it actually feels really more organic here in a way.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, and all that stuff that's like repetitive in terms of like I don't know, the warehouse thing you mentioned, for example. All that stuff is this is gonna be a fucking theme, especially when we get to our number one. All that shit's optional, guys. Just don't do it. Just do your story.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. Yeah. How crazy is that? What a notion.
What a concept, yeah. Oh, that's
right.
we gotta go.
Well, I have to 100% everything I do. Well, that's
not really.
You know,
You're putting that pressure on yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The research things, but I want to get the other suits. You don't have to. Just
you don't.
play
I
the
mean, the suits don't really do much. You know, don't worry about it. They're cool. You know,
yeah.
but like,
Honestly, I've never switched away from doing the web blossom as the finisher thing.
Is that the spin around and shoot web everywhere?
Spin around and shoot web everywhere. You get that in like your first suit. And so I never switched away from that.
And like it's the most OP thing in the entire game, so it kills like half the bad guys in any fight.
Yeah, even the big guys are like, shield guys. It kills everybody inside it. It gets rid of them.
Every once in a while, I would get nostalgic and put on the Iron Spider suit with the iron arms and and like beat up people with my extra arms. My metal arms.
Yeah, that was rad too.
From Infinity War.
Yeah, dude, those suit designs were so good.
I think there was
looking.
one where it was like easier to dodge or like it slowed down. There's something about dodging that I use every once in a while too, but I didn't use most of the suits. I would switch every once in a while. Like if I was feeling like moody, like I'm gonna get my punk rock suit real quick and go around and like take pictures with people, or like I would change like the look of my suit kind of often. I use the same powers for the most part.
Yeah, same here. But like, there's one power that's actually kind of cool, but it's a little risky. Also, you can change your. Sorry to cut myself off. I'll get back to it. I promise. You can change all of. I love that you can change all of your whatever you call them, like stats or whatever the fuck. Like you can change like if you time your dodge perfectly, you get an extra finisher or something like that. Whatever. I love that shit. Like that's just it feels like an RPG, but it's not. You know, I like those aspects. Anyway, there's the final suit that you get after you 100% everything comes with the ability to as soon as you hit the two joysticks, you can just start punching dudes and one hit knocks them all down. But if they hit you, you're dead. So it's kind of a risky finisher thing.
Yeah.
That's just saying. That's if you 100% the game, that's out there if you guys want to do that. Dude, love the game so much. 5 stars out of like 10.
Yep.
I don't know.
16 out of 20.
Yeah. I love the game so much. 6.5 out of 10.
I think it's just near perfect. Everything about it is just like exquisite. 4.3 out of 10. So thank you.
Did nothing for you. Nothing at all.
Does nothing for me.
Yeah.
You know what? Game is fucking brilliant. It's like a masterpiece game. Did nothing for me.
Yeah, but it didn't affect me.
Yeah, it didn't do anything in me for all.
I'll tell you, the ending of this game, you bring your big boy pants.
Yeah.
Okay. bigger than God of War pants?
No, God of War is probably one of the most. I don't know, because Red Dead has we got some pretty emotional games this year. I'll tell you.
Emotional, but man, just they both struck me totally differently.
Yeah, Red Dead takes the cake in terms of I can't stop crying. Why is this happening?
Pretty sure I cried on multiple moments in that game.
And we all got the definitive best ending on our first playthrough,
which is crazy. We weren't even trying for it. Like it just
we didn't even. I mean, how
we played the game right, everybody.
Yeah, we did it right.
Correctly. Anyways, but that's not on our list. We're not going to talk about that one.
At Spidey, because the story takes a turn. I did unexpected turn, mind you, because you feel like, it's a Spider-Man story, whatever to the story. It doesn't matter as long as Spidey can fight and fight good. But they care deeply about the story, and you could tell.
Oh, dude, the story is so good in this game.
Like the fact that they included Miles in this, like gives you kind of a taste of things to come, and his dynamic with Mary Jane, but like his stuff with Aunt May and stuff like that, and what she's doing as a job. Like, is just huge, and like this big moment at the end is just like, I mean, if you're not really an emotional person, I could see you being like, it's whatever. But I got a little emotional because it's a big, it's a big moment. It's a big moment.
It's a huge moment.
For
even I got really, I got emotionally invested in like Peter and Mary Jane's relationship.
Yeah, me too, man.
It's like, man, I'm really rooting for you kids. You crazy kids.
You
guys love each other.
They're like they're like our age, but like it's like.
But
kids.
They are. Yeah, in this game they are kind of. But yeah, they they're broken up in this game. They've already done the whole. So. They've already done all the Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst shit of like this is romantic as fuck that we're doing this together and hero and all that stuff because she got over that. Like she was just like, you've been doing this. This obviously is priority 1 for you. Yeah.
and he's just been trying to repair that ever since. Trying to still just find that
He
balance.
wants that. He wants that life back. He wants that pussy back.
he wants the again. I love, by the way, when there's a part where you're on like a friend date with her at her apartment, and you're supposed to sneak out in a spider suit, and depending on what suit you pick, that's the suit you sneak out in. So I thought it was rad that I picked the really badass like black and gold one, and he was like trying to sneak out, and I'm like, it would have been hilarious if she was like, "What the fuck is that suit? Like, I've never seen that before."
Yeah, right. I've never seen that one before. It just made it.
Because it was just such a badass suit that I just changed to, and I was like, that would have been awesome if she was like, "New suit, huh?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think there's one with the DLC that it's literally like you're plucked out of the comic book or like the cartoon.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and it looks and plays in that world so fucking like smooth. It's not like jarring. I mean, it is jarring. It's supposed to be, but you know what I mean. It's not like two graphics competing with each other. It's not glitchy or some shit. Like it's very strange, but it's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool suits in the game. Highly recommend everybody go play it. Even people that hate Spider-Man. JJ, talking to you. I guess he's Alex Jones in this world, in the Spider-Man world.
Yeah, he is. He's very funny in this. Yeah. Spider-Man was hanging out next to the water, and now it's poison.
Yeah.
Like, everybody would blame
I love
Spider-Man.
that. And I love that Peter Parker cares so much about what he thinks because he knows that he does have influence over some people's opinions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, but he's always like, as soon as he finishes a crime scene, he's like, I wonder what how he's going to spin this one.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, Peter, you care too much, but at the same time, he does care what people think. You know?
Yeah, he cares about the repercussions, not necessarily the direct words.
I say, I'm pretty sure we have the same top two. So let's just do our honorable mentions now. Let's get that shit out of the way.
Han Mans,
fuck yeah. So Kyle already mentioned Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's one of mine. Far Cry 5 we already talked about. That's one of mine. But people can stop sucking that game's dick. Yeah, Sea of Thieves. I beat Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It wasn't my 10 for a long time, but the more people pointed out its faults, I was like, yeah, those are there. You know what I mean? Like
that game is totally fine. Yeah, I like that game. I like that game quite a bit.
I couldn't put it down, dude. I'm still playing the DLC and stuff. Like I
played it
really like my time with
it. I beat it like very quickly. So
yeah, it was kind of short, but
not that it was short, but like just very few sessions. Like I really trucked through it. Like it didn't take like many breaks from it or anything like that.
Oh, like you couldn't put it down either. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did like that they were trying for something different with their character, but it just felt too inconsistent. I think that was discussed also on the Fathers of the Grind podcast, where it was like one moment she's like, guys, we got to do the right thing and help these people. And then the next moment she's fucking murdering people. And then it's like no big deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then she just switches back to being a good person. Too many people are going to
die. I'm like, you just stabbed 7 people in the neck. Like, just a second,
like it was no big deal. And it was like this big moment too, with like this music that was really badass and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? Really she just never did that again.
There's some great set pieces though, like the floods and all that stuff. Oh my god, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is really rad. Yeah, like I said, I love the gameplay stuff. I love the platforming. Felt really good, played real good, in the same way that like kind of like Uncharted does, where it's not necessarily realistic, but it feels really good to play. You know, like just the way you can suddenly just swing your fucking hook and it hooks onto anything. You're like, okay, all right, come on, but it still feels good to play. Yeah, I like that one. That one was good. Kyle, what are some that you have?
I had Starlink on there. I had Shadow of the Tomb Raider on there as well. I liked Vampire this year from Don't Nod Studio.
Forgot that.
Very fun. Very good game. I'm on the very last chapter of that game. I don't know why.
Oh shit, you're close to beating it. Nice.
Yeah, I just wrap it up. I put 89 hours into Fallout 76. It is not a good game.
Jesus Christ.
God,
and you played it for that long anyway.
I have a lot of fun with it, though, yeah. It is not a good game, and everyone should feel really bad about it. You know, it's actually been offline for like 7 days now because the day, like, on the 1st, something happened where all the nuclear codes were taken out of the game, and you can't beat certain, like, the last mission without nuclear codes, and people can't, that's the whole point, is to launch nukes or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've taken the whole game offline, and it's been unplayable.
Wow. That is...
What a fucking mess.
Yeah,
man.
what a
clusterfuck,
goddamn mess.
Yeah.
89 hours though, a lot of fun, man. I tell you, my house on the side of the mountain is really great. But it took me a while to build it out and get my spot there and stuff. So it's got turrets everywhere and it's got all the accoutrement. You can build whatever you want.
These are my accoutrement, as I so declare.
So do declare. That's a fortnight's worth of accoutrement.
John Hamm, you're the best.
I really enjoyed Omen Sight. That's my indie. That's my big indie game from the year. Earth Defense Force 5. I'm still playing through. Really good palate cleanser.
I played that with my brother. We had fun with that. That was so ridiculous. That game is.
Do you have Earth Defense Force 5?
Yeah.
The new one?
Yeah.
We fucking play that together?
I don't know why I haven't brought it up to you.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! I've never been able to play that.
Me
game
and my brother got far into it too. We played like 2. It felt like we got far into it because you progress pretty fast.
Levels, so yeah.
Oh wow, there are. Never mind then, because
yeah.
I felt like I think we got 10 done, and then was like, shit. I guess we didn't even make it. Damn.
No, you're gonna be like once you get like way into it, you're gonna be shooting nukes that destroy the entire city along with the bugs and stuff like that. And they'll make great comments.
That
like,
sounds awesome.
Well, they'll make great comments like, well, I guess we can fix that later. But it's so
I
cool
love
to see, like,
my
all the
brother and I
falling over. And
I don't know about you, but or have you played multiplayer with anybody or no?
Not this one, but like ones from back in the day. Yeah.
Well, We've just been spamming like bullshit sayings, like singing or whatever. EDF.
Or start singing the song or whatever. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Thank you. Just screaming out, "Thank you!" Hey.
And there's so many options. Like just randomly, we'll be running, and I'll just like type, like I'll select the screaming one, and it's just out of nowhere. Just be like, ah! That game is such a blast, dude. It's so dumb. I love it. I mentioned Lego Incredibles. I did have fun with that one, even if people were like, if you like the Lego games, you'll play. I'm like, yeah, I like the Lego games. So yeah,
we both said The Messenger earlier, right?
The Messenger, yeah. That one's cool. It's got a lot of personality. That one, some good humor in it, good natured humor, where they're like, hey. They're like, hey, you're not going to be the guy that's left with all this responsibility. You're not good enough for that. And then suddenly he is the only guy left.
Yeah, it's like, dude, my whole village got murdered. I guess I have to do this now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Unravel 2, my brother and I played and beat in one session.
Wow.
That was something else, man. It was in my 10 for a while because like that first one was just like, I don't know, man. The first one was just, it was good, but there was something holding me back from playing it more and stuff. And whether that was just like the bullshit and some of the randomness of the swinging and stuff like that, like you would just never get past a certain level sometimes. Whereas this one is multiplayer, like it's optionally multiplayer, but it's better to play it multiplayer. There's 2 of you this time, and you have to use each other sometimes to swing around. And it's just better to play it couch co-op because like you have somebody there right next to you going, okay, so here's what we should do on this one. Like, and
yeah, right.
It's just like once you get in the rhythm of it, it's just fucking, it's magic. You're just magic together. And we beat that shit in one sitting. That was like the whole night though. It was like 6 hours and we fucking beat it. The story is not that present. It's like you're following a kid around who's a runaway with a love interest or something. And I'm just like, who cares? Just take me to the next puzzle. It's pretty rad, though. I got to say, that was definitely a step up from the first one. And that was a surprise game, too, after E3, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was a good one. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I've got a couple to rattle off. Dead Cells is pretty good. I had fun with the new Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I thought the game was going to be garbage. I was like, oh, you kiddied this game up? Great. Actually, a lot of fun. Soul Calibur 6, great. Project Octopath Traveler, that's pretty fun. I really like the art design of that game.
That game is impressive from an art design.
It's very, very cool. And like you're playing as like just like I'm a merchant and I'm a dancer.
Is it like the 5 characters or whatever?
Yeah, there's like 8. It's Octopath, so it's 8. Yeah.
Duh. There's 5 characters, but it's called Octopath. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. Penta 8. Where is that saying? Whatever. Yeah, Penta. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's a really fun game, and like like you're playing as a dancer, and like you're like the dancer is like her story is so crazy. Like these stories are really adult and stuff like that. She's trying to like kill someone who murdered her father or whatever, and so she's subjecting herself to like being like a whore and stuff like that, or like a stripper, so that she can like get into like this person's presence and. I don't know, a lot of really cool like stories that don't really connect, but 8 really great little like character stories. I also got Chasm, which is Chasm.
It's like
and it's like it's like Symphony of the Night, post Symphony of the Night GBA era, like Castlevania game. It's a lot of fun. I really like that game a lot. Like it's very fun, easy to chip away at. And that is really it for me in terms of honorable mentions.
I did include, because I prefer to include like Telltale or like Life is Strange games after I beat them, because what if they shit the bed at the end? So I did include the last 2 episodes of Batman: The Enemy Within in mine, because I really did think it stuck the landing and made it like... That was one of the hardest, up until Walking Dead final season, which the first 2 episodes were really great and made it really hard to make decisions. But yeah, that was really tough to like, how do I befriend Joker, but also like not to the point where he thinks he's doing nothing wrong. You know what I mean? You don't want to turn him into a villain, but you don't want him to be too much of your friend. You know what I mean? It's a really tough line, and I think every ending is just very... I don't know, very undesirable.
You got to be careful of who you're creating.
Exactly. Because he could either end up turning into a vigilante like you and dressing different, but like wearing a mask and stuff, or he can turn into a full-blown villain depending on how you take him.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Dude, it's fucking wild. And Alfred has like this big ultimatum at the end because he's tired of your shit. And
he Michael Caine's you?
Yeah, he fucking Michael Caine's you at the end, dude. Sorry for spoilers, but like literally when I beat the game, I saw the stats and like everybody chose to keep playing Batman. Like nobody was like, "Okay, Alfred, I'll stop being Batman."
You know what, Alfred? You're right. It's fuck off, Alfred. Yeah. Like, look how fucking broken it is out there. I got to do my shit. You know.
I'm sorry you lost your eye, but Jesus Christ, man, I'm Batman. A few indies that I had to mention. Oh, I wanted to bring up Ashen just because. I mean, I did play it single player.
I did play some of it too.
Yeah, I think it's just a cool idea and stuff, and I like the art style.
I like the way it looks.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. And I think it was cool that it had its own lore going on. There's another game nominated for Games for Impact, if you guys could tell which games I decided to play the most of. 1111 Memories Retold is a game it kind of comes off like Loving Vincent in terms of like it's the way it feels like it's hand painted or whatever the fuck, but it's not. But Elijah Wood voices one of the characters. It's 2 stories happening during World War II at the same time, where one guy's a German guy, and you play both characters. One guy's a German dude that enlists to find his son who went missing on the battlefield, and the other guy, played by Elijah Wood, is a photographer in America, and he enlists to take pictures or whatever. And they're happening at the same time, and I think it's cool. It's like a Telltale type of experience where you go back and forth between them, and your actions have consequences and stuff. I think that's a really cool game. Florence is a mobile game. That one was nominated for Games for Impact too. And I was like, what's this about? And it's like an hour game, or not even an hour. You just like, you literally go through like 6 chapters, and it's about this a woman. So you guys checked out immediately because it's about a woman. Of course. Obviously. As we're supposed to. No, I'm just kidding.
Did any of our games that star women in our top 10 this year?
When you were talking about that one about the woman earlier, and you're like, wait a minute, or I'm like, she can't talk, and my goal is to get her to talk? Fuck that. That sounds stupid.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Florence is literally, it's just slice of life type game where it's a mobile game, so it's not like it's super interactive. It kind of plays out more like more like Telltale or whatever. So it gives you like dialogue options, and you select it, and there's more artistic stuff going on in the game in terms of the art style. But yeah, it's just you getting into a relationship with a guy that you fall like deeply for, and then you break up, and it's like amicable, like you just don't get along anymore, and your dreams don't coincide, or you stop pursuing your dreams because of it. And yeah, it's literally slice of life, and that's it. And I thought there was going to be more to it, but it still ended up having an impact on me anyway. And then this game nobody's probably ever heard of called Donut County. You guys ever heard of that?
Nope.
Yeah, played it on Switch. It was like, it wasn't a full price game at all. But you literally I can't even describe this fucking game. So this is a world where there's like anthropomorphic like fucking animals and shit that talk and all that stuff. So it's that type of world. So prepare for that. Also, you play there's a lot of humor in the game. You play a like raccoon, I think, who helps deliver donuts. But the way he does it, like he puts literally a hole in the ground, and then they do it by remote app. Like basically, he has an app that he triggers to deliver donuts. But the way that they do it is they don't deliver a donut at all. They basically put a hole in the ground and have things kind of fall into it. And it's a Hollow Earth type game where like everybody ends up at the fucking Hollow Earth, and they're all like bitching at each other about how do we end up here, and they're all yelling at each other. It's a fucking wild, like, got a lot of personality. Couldn't stop playing it. It was like 2 hours, I think, but it was like I got to see this through. Like, it was just a fun game. I don't know what it was about this game that made it so magnetic, but I just had to finish it. Really stupid, really dumb, but like in a fun way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like comedy games. Anyway, that's all I had. And JD, you have a ton of honorable mentions, I'm sure.
So many. Hold on, let me get started here. Okay, yeah, those are all. That's all I got.
That's all of them.
So yeah.
I have Knights of the Scarbons, Legend of the Carbonites. I'm just kidding. I just made one up. Anyway, our top 2. Here we go. And I assume this is our mutual number 2. Nobody's cucking out here. So our number 2 is God of War, right?
Yes.
Thank fuck. Sorry, I meant to say Dad of Boy.
Boy.
JD, you just finished this game. Tell us.
Just finished.
Tell us your
Man,
thoughts.
this was a special fucking game. I had no attachment to God of War going into it, and just kind of having gotten my hands on it a little bit over at my brother-in-law's this summer. Like, I already knew the quality of it just based on a few hours of gameplay. But man, the way that the story wrapped up at the end, like I seriously, I didn't see a lot of that stuff coming. I didn't pick up on the clues, which I know are there. I guess we're going into spoilers, right? So we're not having to hold back.
Oh yeah, spoilers for the next 2 games, guys.
So
Sorry.
I mean, the fact that the boy ends up
Not sorry,
being
though.
fucking Loki,
Yeah.
is just awesome. And I watched a video that showed some of the hints that they peppered in there that led up to it. And I don't know, man. When it's that level of storytelling and it's that intricate, and I immediately want to go back and play this 40-hour game again. Immediately.
Yeah, that's
Like,
why I started it again. I was like, I missed that gameplay. I missed the fucking
it's so cool.
satisfaction of just wrecking motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, but it's, it does have that element where you're so OP in some situations, but I love how, like, especially with the Valkyries and everything, it requires precision for a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I didn't switch my gear around too much. I pretty much built my character from the ground up. I knew what my playstyle would be, and I stuck with that. But man, just uncovering all the lore, like the Mimir and all of his stories when they're in the boat.
I love his stories and the flow of them
so
too.
good.
When like as soon as you like dock, it's like, and we'll pick this back up
continue
later.
this later.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
it's like that's fucking great.
The only way that Mimir could have been better is if he was voiced by like Simon Pegg or something. Like, that would have been fucking awesome. But he was great, and I don't know, man. I like I just didn't expect to get that much of like an emotional journey with all these other characters. Like, I knew everything with the boy and the father and Kratos would be in depth because that's what the game is focusing on. But, I didn't expect Mimir to have that big of an impact. I didn't expect to care about Brock and Sindri at all. And you end up kind of caring about them a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I just think the world building is amazing in this. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't say enough about it. I'm still coming down off of how
Still
freaking
coming down
amazing.
after the high. Yeah, because I remember when Kyle and I like finished. Kyle finished it before me, and he was like, "Hey." He didn't say it lightly, but he was like, "Hey, good luck, Red Dead 2." Like, and I was like, "For real, dude?"
I remember you guys saying that.
and
I'm like,
when he
right.
said, I was like, "For real, dude," and then I beat it, and I was like, "Yeah, he's fucking right."
I mean, I even had that moment at the end of the game. I'm like, God, I really get why people have this above Red Dead 2. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my personal choice, but I get it.
Yeah,
Like,
when it won
100%
at the
get it
Game
now.
Awards, that's why Kyle and I weren't shouting.
You can't be mad.
expletives. Yeah.
You can't be mad, and it's because of every single level. Like, the gameplay and the storytelling just come together in a way that you just don't get this kind of stuff.
I think it's funny that you
out of
defined
your
it as
game.
levels because I just feel like it's one long cinematic experience. Like,
It is, yeah. The only thing that's even close to a cutscene is like when you're going in and out of the whatever they call them, the
bridge,
little
the
the bridge. Yeah,
yeah, you're talking about the what do they call it in Thor? What do they call that?
mirrors.
Shit? It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the same fucking thing in Thor, where it's the Bifrost. It's a Bifrost.
the Bifrost. Right? Yeah, you're just basically walking through within the realm and stuff. That's the only time the camera ever like cuts to black and you're not right over Kratos' shoulder.
Yeah.
But yeah, the I don't know, man. And
But even then, it doesn't ever. Oh, you might be talking about the portals where you walk through a door and then you come
out the other end.
Oh,
and,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, when you're
okay.
traveling within the realm.
Yeah,
to
yeah. But even then, it tries to trickery. It's trickery, of course, because that's a loading
Yeah.
screen. But
It is. But it doesn't feel like it.
Exactly.
You're getting lore.
Yeah.
You're talking about what you just did. Like it finds these ways to just kind of slowly build the world around you without interrupting your gameplay.
Right.
And I found it. I mean, Red Dead, I found myself like, oh, cool. I've been playing this for 8 hours. Like, maybe I should go to bed or maybe I should do something. God of War wasn't really that far off for me once I got into it. It took me a little while because I was repeating the same shit I had done on my playthrough over at my brother-in-law's. Like, I got like 5 hours into that, I think.
No, wow.
So going through the same stuff, I'm just like, okay.
But it felt
When am I
good to
gonna
start
get
it
to
over again,
something new?
honestly. Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm sure it did. I mean, for me, it did.
The first fight with Baldur didn't take me an hour when like it did over there. I couldn't fucking I'm like, why won't this guy fucking die? And why is he at my door?
Yeah, I know. Oh man, that was so brilliant though, because it was the first what the fuck moment in the story where it's like,
Yeah.
where is this going now? Like it was just That was so great.
Going back and revisiting that with the context of him not being there for Kratos, like he was there for Faye.
Yeah.
And the dialogue and everything that he says, like it's just one of those cool little things that works under a totally different context when you go through a replay. So I'm gonna 100% complete this bitch. I am gonna be that way with this game.
Man, that's kudos.
I've already gotten Alfheim and a couple of the other realms totally 100%, and I'm just gonna
How the
I'm gonna
fuck did
barrel
you do
through
that?
it, dude.
I got
I
fucking
get that
owned
way,
when I
man.
went to one of those. Yeah.
It's a matter of pride. Like, I know I can fucking beat you. I know I can do it. There's the right combination of things. I know I can learn. And, the first Valkyrie that took me like an hour, I was like, all right, maybe I just need to revisit this and come back when I'm a little bit stronger.
That was me
And,
with the second playthrough, which I still didn't beat. And then I, gave you my PS4, so I have to start it over again anyway.
Right.
That's what I was doing with the loot, where you have to where you reach your hand in through another dimension, and when you pull it out, enemies come out. Like I did not even touch those until I was on the second to last mission, and then I started touching those, and I was fucking owning those dudes.
Because if some of them early,
it's all about timing.
I saw my first purple bard purple bard enemy, and I had only been into the game 10 hours.
Yeah, I died
and
immediately.
Like, oh, what's this? Does this mean I'm going to get epic loot or whatever? And it's like, oh no, it means I'm going to get killed in 3 seconds. That's what that color means. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There was the first boss I got hitched up on was the dark elf at the end of the Alfheim Tower. There was something about there was just something about either my state of mind at that time where I'm just like, God, I'm fucking terrible.
Yeah,
at this.
I beat it and I never died, but it was just an annoying as fuck final boss. Just honestly, that's just what it was. You're talking about that's the one that flies around, right?
Yes, I called him. I know his name is Swartelfheim or whatever. I called him Stuart for some reason. That's what it looked like to me. I was like, you fucking bitch, Stuart. Fuck you. I couldn't learn to stay away from the light grenades. I wasn't aware that that's what was making me blind.
Oh,
and
interesting.
It just took me a long time to get up to the curve because that was before I'd even faced a Valkyrie at all. So all my enemies up to that point were swarms, and swarms are super easy to deal with in this game. Once you get used to runics, you build up your cooldown a little bit. You can develop a flow to fighting 10 different guys at one time, coming from all angles. But that was my first got to lock into this guy and just focus specifically on him, and God, it threw me for a loop. But
JD sounds like you're better than fighting at the game than I am. I don't know how good Kyle is at the game because I know he plays Kyle. You play hardcore Bloodborne type shit, so I don't. Probably amazing at it. I think Kyle died.
He might have died.
Or he muted it, and he forgot.
He did sell this as.
I'm here.
Oh,
okay. He did sell this as Dark Souls Light, and
it could be.
It has probably given me a lot of false confidence in my ability to play Dark Souls. I have a feeling now I'm going to roll up to Dark Souls and be like, "Oh, I got this shit," and then
you're
get
fighting Valkyries, you'll be fine.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's.
I am 6.
Whereas I get decimated by a
Fine.
Valkyrie, and I'm like, hey, that mission's not for me or whatever.
The thing is that every enemy in Dark Souls is a Valkyrie. So
that's true. That's a good point.
My strategy is as soon as they drop down, you can throw a couple runic attacks at them while they're in their idle state, and you can chunk off 25% of their health right away. And if you do it really quick with the right runics, you can switch between your blade and your axe and your blades of chaos. And you can knock that bitch down to 50% before they've even done anything to you.
Can I just say that? Oh, go ahead.
And then it's just a matter of staying alive.
Staying alive.
And I always had the Berserker Stone on me because when I came back to life, I wanted to rage and build my health up that way because my health would get replenished. If I just beat the shit out of her, half my health would come back.
Did you get to the part? Did you trigger the post-credit scene yet and go back home?
No,
or?
I had not triggered it yet.
Man.
But I've watched it.
Are you kidding me?
Man,
watched it,
that's
okay.
one
I don't
spoiler
need
we can't
to,
watch
so.
yet. Shit.
No, I mean, I've seen it. I know what happens.
Oh, you have seen it. Okay.
Yeah,
So you know it's
I
Thor. Okay, cool.
Yeah, when I watched the ending, it came in and you mentioned it, and I'm like, well, this will save me a trip home until I have to fucking go over to that area. So
Yeah, that's a good
you,
point.
you brought up you brought up the Chains of Chaos area. That whole scene is like one of the best moments in the entire game.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's one of the
yeah.
best moments in gaming from the entire year.
yeah, and I'm
It's just-
so glad I went back and watched all the lore, so it actually meant
Yeah,
something.
so it meant
Yeah.
something. Yeah, because it doesn't mean anything if you don't know
Yeah.
like what having those on him meant.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
what he was when he had those on him, and he's just like, "Oh, they have boy. I gotta go. You know, I gotta
Yeah.
say boy. So I'm gonna fuck up some people. And when you get those, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden the combat becomes so much easier, like it feels very empowering. Like it just
Yeah,
like
it does.
becomes this moment of
That
just
is
like
as-
complete badassness.
That is as powerful as any action movie moment like I can think of. Like remember in Thor Ragnarok when he triggers his lightning ability for the first time?
yeah. Oh yeah.
At the end
Like
of the
that.
movie,
And he's
just like fucking that. Like where
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
felt just like
oh shit, and then you go
Yeah.
outside and there's all these enemies, and it's like
Dude, you
just the way they
wreck
fucking
all of
shot
them.
it. Like holy shit, dude.
It's
Like
so
Yeah.
good.
oh man.
I
Have
can't
y'all
believe this
thought about how much time has passed in this game? How like time like is affected in this game? Because Loki creates the World Snake, and you're talking to the World Snake the entire time. But Loki's a kid. Like you
Well-
traveling through time. Like there's this whole like because like everything's happening as a cycle, you know. So it's like.
Right.
You know, like Kratos has entered this like cyclical like world or whatever that like where he may be Tyr. Have y'all thought about that?
He's
I never
definitely
thought of that.
100%
I've watched,
Tyr. Yeah.
I've watched a lot of the theory videos and everything, and I'm like, yep, he's Tyr.
Yeah, I mean, it's like like it's just it makes all the sense in the world, you know, because it's
Yep.
like Tyr is kind of like this kind of a foreign god, if you will, and
Yeah.
comes
Yeah,
in-
he's been
and he
to different
travels all the realms,
realms.
you know, and it's just like he's, it's fucking cool, man. If it ends up being that way,
Yeah.
you know. And Loki and Tyr have relationships in real mythology and stuff like that. I don't think they're father and son, you know, but like they're taking some liberties there. But a lot of the
Yeah.
a lot of the lore is really good. Sometimes they go just crazy with it, like they do in God of War. It's like the base is like the Minotaur is here, but like everything about like the lore of the Minotaur may be changed or something.
Yeah.
They stick a little more to it here, but they still take the liberties where they need to like tell a really compelling story.
Yeah, man.
But like all the words and like the dwarves and like all that stuff is just like it's fucking spot on, man. It's so crazy how like we get this like really just fucking awesome like Norse mythology game. You know,
yeah,
it's,
they fucking
it's
nailed that
cool.
aspect in my opinion.
It's so
like,
Yeah,
they
big
took
time.
liberties where we needed to. And it felt
Absolutely.
right
And-
to the
and
story.
they could go into so many different areas of mythology if they want to, based on that one like final shot where it shows Tyr and it's got the Omega symbol, which is Kratos' for God of War, and it's got like a Chinese one. I don't remember what it's called, but it's got like
There's an
it's got an Egyptian
like-
symbol and a
yeah,
Chinese
that's a good
symbol. Yeah.
point. Like these aren't
So-
prophecies. These fucking happened. Like
These are-
It already
Yeah.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
it already happened. Yeah, and it's going to happen again, and it's going to
It's
continue to
Battlestar
happen.
Galactica
like-
type shit where it's just
exactly
like,
right. Yeah,
this stuff has happened and it will all happen again in some form. Like
yeah.
you
It'll
are
continue to
playing
happen
a role.
in this way. You know,
Right.
like it's just
And
it's all.
well, the context of it, like, yeah, Loki might not be Tyr's son in the previous one, but their roles, what they do within the cycle,
yeah.
like it's actions will force them to get that
That's-
way.
and like and
fascinating.
it's
I
all
never-
leading to the actual winter that leads to Ragnarok.
To
you know?
Ragnarok,
So
yeah.
like it's all like happening, and like Thor coming down, like because he fucking
The
killed his
most-
son, you know, or sons rather. Which you
The
don't kill a lot of
most,
gods in this game. Like Thor's sons are kind of like
Thor's sons,
demigods, you know, and you kill like the stranger, you know, and that's like they don't blow their wad in this game. Like we have a shit ton of fucking gods to get through, you know. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the next one's probably gonna have to be a lot more like action oriented and like boss oriented. Where in this game you're kind of fighting the same like trolls like kind of over and over again, maybe kind of different variations of them, and then very few little bigger boss fights with like the dragon and the suns and everything. I think the next game is just gonna be like you're just gonna be acing off like dudes all and ladies all game or whatever.
Yeah. I could see that.
Freya's
And then
pissed, man.
Thor being
She's
the
not
last
doing
one, and then
Freya's
like
so mad.
and then like the third game is like Odin and
Yeah. Like the next game is gonna be like Thor. Like the ultimate person you're killing is Thor, and Odin's gonna be like, dude, you fucking killed my son, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that Kyle, you and I have the same kind of relationship with God of War. We're like, I mean, I think you've beaten obviously more of them before than I have, but I have played the games and I like them and I was entertained by them. But in terms of Kratos as a character, we were just kind of like, whatever. You know what I mean?
He
Like,
screams a lot. And he's mad.
How do
I
you
get
like
it,
him? He's mad and he just
and he
wrecks people
causes
and he has
chaos
orgies.
everywhere. He's not really.
he's
good
just an
guy.
asshole.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, he's just kind of an asshole that just wants to kill things. I'm like, okay, like I get it, bud. And this, like, there's like he's a real character.
Yeah.
Like, his whole persona is turned around, and like, you know, he's, and I just love the relationship with his son. Like, even like whenever he hands like the ashes of the mom like off to him at the very end, I was like, oh, stop it right now. You just cut that out.
and think
just
about
don't make me
his
feel things.
think about his origin too. Like, not only was that big between he and Atreus, but he never got that chance. Like the ashes of his family that he killed are on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why his skin is gray. So that's like
right.
You know, that's the first time
having
that he's been able to take a wife that
right.
You know,
laying
and
someone to
actually-
rest properly. You know,
Correct.
that's why it was so important to him, and that's literally the story of this whole game. Son, we're gonna go bury your mother, and then a lot of shit happens. But ultimately, that's how it ends too. Like you're up on, you know, you're up there and you're passing it on, and then you get that awesome story about like where his name came from. Like Atreus was actually like this great captain, and he tells this like long story about like how he saved Sparta or Rome or something like that. Right. You know, and it's just like it's a really good just father son moment, and you know, and then the game is filled with them. You know, especially like when boy starts being a big shithead.
Yeah.
And Kratos is just like, you better shapen up, boy. You know, we got to choose to be better than these gods. And
I definitely did not like Atreus when he was being a dick to like Sindri for no reason. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you just found out you were a god 7 minutes ago, and now you're all fucking like
go to your head.
and
You know,
shit.
you're being like a little kid. Like it would fucking go to your head.
I know, but like I just like as an adult, I'm just like, dude, fucking calm down a little bit.
And he also has to.
I loved when he was being a dick to Kratos.
Well,
though.
I mean, on top of
like
him,
that.
on top of him finding out, hey, I'm a god, he is also trying to process his dad being uber violent all of a sudden and strong.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm a god too, and then he starts
Yeah.
wanting to kill people. So like,
I
I can lift
understand
up
it.
entire planets as well. It's like, no, you can't fucking.
I understand it.
Yeah.
It's just I just wanted to lecture the shit out of that kid.
Oh, yeah,
like,
No, I
dude,
like
hey,
when he
fucking
was,
look at
like,
me, man.
When he first like learned, he's like, so what's my power? And he starts like going down a list of like what is. He's like, boy, I don't fucking know what your power.
Oh yeah. Well, that was one of the tips to him being Loki is like, so I could turn into an animal.
Yeah, and you can.
And yeah, I mean he should be able to do that.
I was going to say in the first 10 minutes alone already taught me that Kratos, this is going to be a different story for Kratos, because like in the first 10 minutes he's chopping down a tree, and then his bandage this comes to your attention in the second playthrough especially, his bandage comes unraveled.
Comes loose.
Yeah,
you see the
and
scars.
you see the scars from the Blades of Chaos, and it's just kind of like, you know, I left this life behind. There's a lot of impact in that moment.
Yeah.
You know,
he's covering it. He's ashamed of them.
Yeah, exactly.
The scars are healed. You know, like it's not like they're not bandaged to heal. You know, like he's covering them up, like he's ashamed.
Exactly.
Of
And then there's a moment right after that where it's a little bit later on, but it's still like within the first 10-15 minutes where he helps Atreus kill a deer. And he wants to put his hand on Atreus to like comfort him because, you know, he just lost his mom and he had to kill something, and he couldn't bring himself to do it.
He turns around. Yeah,
it's just like,
and his hand like trembles too. There's just so much detail in that moment where he just couldn't do it. Man,
and you're like, this is a God of War game? What the fuck? Like that's the first 10 minutes. That's just crazy.
Did you guys pick up? Obviously, on the tree that he's cutting down, it had the hand mark on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's Faye's. So she's already gone through this whole journey before. So every gold mark that you have that like lights your path, so to speak, through the world, that's her.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's fucking fascinating to me.
Yeah, dude.
That like she just exists outside of this construct of time. Like she's
the fact that we're like already
they're guiding the whole way.
Disinvested into a possible theory involving the next batch of God of War games is already way better than what they did before. Like it's just insane.
Right.
Yeah, there's actually world building going on now. And now,
like the carrying the theme of the sins of our fathers, like Kratos is torn up that he had to kill Zeus, and like killing Zeus like destroyed like his world and everything he knew, and it killed everybody he knew. He's not on like his earth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like,
why he killed Balder at the end. Spoilers, but
he's
you know,
somewhere, and they don't ever explain how. Like you get how because like the Norse mythology opens up the idea of the Bifrost and like this passageway between realms. So obviously, when he disappears at the end of 3, like he is transported to this world somehow, while that Earth is like it's gone, you know? Like, there's nothing about that place. So, like, he's carrying this burden of all of that, all of these deaths and all of this selfishness that he just wanted through revenge, you know? And he had to kill his father for it, you know? And, like, who knows where we're going with this? Is Loki going to have to kill Kratos? Like, you know, like, where... Are we going to play as Loki? You know? Like what's...
I think it's
like,
going there, man. Because, like,
what
if you look at that last picture, Kratos looks dead as shit. And he's got a serpent going through him, it looks like.
The world snake, like, maybe grew out of
and
him.
he's,
You know?
he's missing his right hand, which... Oh, who is missing their right hand in mythology? Tyr.
Oh yeah.
That's something about his character too. So that's another factor into that one.
Bing,
like,
bang, boom.
Dude, the levels of just
This is blowing my goddamn mind because I didn't look up into any of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a good theory. Of course, like all the clues are there, but no one is going. Yeah, Kratos is Tyr. You know, like it's just all the clues are there. It's not even like. They're very much so there. It just depends on what they want to do with it, you know.
Right.
I don't know if it had to be on purpose, you know. Maybe it's to throw you off. Maybe they're so obvious to throw you off or something. Even though I had to watch a video to catch a lot of it, but going out of that game, I was just like, I think he's Tyr, you know. Like it's just the way that I knew who Tyr was. He was like this god who was from another world who hopped realms and stuff like that. And Mimir is too. Mimir is
and
like,
you know that Tyr's been to Sparta.
Mythology. What's that?
You know that Tyr has been to Sparta, or at least that realm, because he had the jar that had Kratos killing Zeus on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or killing a bunch of fucking people or something.
Yeah.
That he sees when he gets into his vault. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like
cool.
I'm like 99% sure.
The one that he knocks over on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't want him to see that. Yeah. He didn't want Boy to see that.
Nope.
Boy. Oh man, it's so fucking good. Yeah.
One of the greatest games ever created. I don't mean that
for
like,
real.
and it's at number 2 this year, which
that should tell you the state of the year.
Just really tell you the stakes of what we're about to be talking about. But God of War is one of the greatest narrative and gameplay experience ever. Usually you're trading one for the other, you know. Yeah. Not in this case. Like it's just a solid game through and throughout. It's one of the most inventive open world games I've ever played. It's such a small area but so dense, you know. It's
Dance.
so like
Sorry.
It feels way bigger than it is, though.
It feels way bigger than it is, but you know, and there's so many interior areas. It's fucking enormous. Like, and it's you know, but it's more. I don't know. Again, like
there's so many. There's so many little. And I just watched In Bruges again with my dad the other day, so I'm
nice.
saying this word a lot. I'm like,
was that his first time?
Huh?
Was that his first time seeing it?
Oh yeah, his first time for sure.
Great movie.
For sure.
It's fucking awesome.
But yeah, as I'm going through the caves, I'm like, oh, there's a little alcove over here. I'll go into the alcove because I was telling him about the alcoves and
the alcove.
Fuck. Yeah, great fucking game. Yeah.
I'm so glad, I completely forgot that games was next on our list. So I'm really glad, Kyle, you were like, just fucking finish it. And I'm like, okay, man.
Yeah, dude, you need to wrap it up, man. You got to get to that ending.
And I did it that night. It was just at 3 a.m. So I was like, "Hey Jeff, you still awake? Hey, cool. This game's fucking great."
Of course I am, right? Just want to let you know it's a really great game and it changed my life.
I thought it was really fucking good.
It's just really great. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up with a big tent in my sheets because the boner I've got right now. It's gonna be dope.
Right. And again, I really like the last boss fight. It was just like really just epic.
Yeah, that was
just
awesome.
Like she's inhabiting a giant dead titan and.
Well, and it was a perfect balance between story and combat. Like, you still had to fight a little bit. It wasn't all just, like, quick buttons and stuff.
Right.
It has that in it because that's what the game requires. But
and I liked his justification of killing Baldur, too. Like, even against the mother's wishes.
He broke the cycle. Like, that's
he knew
what he
that
says. That's what
the
Zeus
kid
said to
wouldn't.
him.
He knew that Baldur would not stop. He would not stop until his mother was dead or whatever. And he can't have another person live with what he lives with currently because he doesn't think they'll be able to live with it. So he just ends the cycle, like you said.
Well, yeah, it says, and breaking the cycle, like, you know, oh man, like who knows what the cost is of that, you know? Like what is the ramifications of breaking the cycle like that?
It's probably the beginning of Ragnarok. Like that's probably
why it came so quickly, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yep.
God damn it, this theory's blowing my
doesn't
mind.
Mimir say like it wasn't supposed to be this way for another couple hundred years
exactly.
or
That's what the
something
dwarves
like,
say. It's like this is coming way too early. Yeah.
So
because,
he shouldn't even be there, more or less.
But Kratos is like already setting into motion, destroying another fucking reality. Even though Ragnarok is like the cyclical thing, bringing it on early is like is not good.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it's not good
Ragnarok's
for anything,
Ragnarok.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, oh fuck, you know, like everyone's like, well, this is fucking weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not supposed to be fucking Jimmy John's. It's not supposed to be there in like 7 minutes.
What is it? Thimblewinter? What is it called? What is the winter called?
I don't know.
It's Thimblewinter.
Thimblewinter.
Yeah.
The winter that never ends, or whatever. I don't know. I just made that up. So our number one game is clearly Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We just totally yanked the rug away from everybody.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah,
We
no,
gotcha.
I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm just kidding. It's Far Cry 5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
That
trip me.
ending, man. That's what I've heard.
That
Yeah, you
ending.
know, I hear that ending is great. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but like that's the whole reason that people are talking about it. Anyway,
But it's really good. Yeah, I know, but you know, the rest of the game. You
yeah,
know?
the rest of the game happens also. Yeah, our number one is clearly Red Dead Redemption 2, and we do feel very strongly about the critics of this game.
Yeah. Sorry.
I feel like at
But not
least like
Friday.
most publications got it. You
Yeah,
know?
I agree
We get
with that.
it. Like yeah,
Like,
this
even
game, you have to
people that
play, you
just-
have to play it on its terms. Okay,
even
I get
people
it.
that do like YouTube reviews, like Funhouse, I watched theirs, and I think it was Alana and was it Adam?
Bruce. Oh, it was Adam. No, you're right.
Yeah, and they were like, just how passionately they loved this game and like
Yeah.
how deep they were into it. Like it was just like,
But
yeah,
they
these
even
people
said-
get it, and they have controversial like.
They were
stances
even like,
sometimes.
yeah, people aren't gonna like this game. It's gonna be pretty split. And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's like great. This is what we're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and sure enough, yeah, all the complaints of
There are a lot. I know more people who don't like this game than I know who like it.
yeah, and that's really unfortunate because I think
Yeah.
with time this one will be like a
We're gonna be talking about this game forever.
Yeah,
forever.
because
Yep.
the
It's a technical marvel. It's a technical marvel. Like it's just, and that's like
what a
just
shocker
fact.
from Rockstar.
Yeah, I'm not
Like-
even. I'm not even trying to argue that. And if you are, then you're just ignorant because like the achievements that are showcased in this game, like on a technical level, are completely out of this world. Like and just the amount of things and how seamless it is, and a lack of the amount of times my game crashed or things froze or missions.
Yeah, that
couldn't
happened
be
like once for
completed.
me in like 80,
Yeah, like-
68
Yeah.
hours or whatever the fuck.
It's
Yeah.
insane. Like you know, maybe one a play session is pretty like that's pretty good these days. You
Yeah.
know, like and like I maybe had one as well, like where I was just like, oh, okay, I think my
I'm not even on a pro and I didn't have any issues with it. So
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's kind of an immaculate like game. I barely had moments where I fell through the world. Like online's a different story. We're not talking about online. You know?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
And it's
I've
beta
fallen through the
still,
world
so-
plenty
It's a
of times
beta, yeah.
online.
No
you know,
apologies
but,
needed
like,
from them. Yeah.
But like in the game, like there weren't moments where I was like falling through things, and people love to talk about it. It's like, oh, I tripping my horse all the time, though. Just fucking slow it down a little bit. Watch where you're going.
Yeah, just
The game
my
kinda
horse
makes
runs into
you-
trees, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you have the controller, so
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I never
game
once
makes
blamed
you-
the game for any of that stuff.
No.
Like, I'd run into a rock and go flying and just be like, "Oh, I'm a dumbass." Like,
Yeah, right.
like,
I
come
mean,
on,
like,
man,
well,
don't
the
run
horse
into
should be
rocks.
smarter. It's like, well, I mean, you're the one who's driving it, bud. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, and everything. Well, every time I try to go my horse, I punch somebody. Stop slamming that button. You know, like wait for the prompt. You know, the area of like use for getting on things or interacting with things is smaller because the game wants you to be up to it. It doesn't do a thing like Assassin's Creed or other games do, where like when you press something from like a few meters away, it just kind of like teleports you over there or like drags your character over there. You know, like the game wants you to walk over there and interact with the thing. You know, like it doesn't want you to like, I don't know, mash on the button like ahead of time to make sure that like, oh, I'm gonna get on this real fast. Like it's a methodical game. And it is a game you have to play on its terms. But like that's what's wrong with that. You know, like the game asks a lot out of you, and with as many mechanics that are going on, like it's got to kind of guide you and let you know like, hey, this is how you play this game, and like this is what we kind of expect out of you. It's not a game, you know, that's you know, if you get tired of like feeding your horse and I don't know, feeding yourself and stuff like that, like you can just not do that also.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's optional.
Your stuff's gonna be red. You might shoot a little worse, but like you don't need to do any of that. You're not gonna shoot that much worse. It's auto aim,
Yeah,
guys.
right.
You know?
It's auto.
Use your dead eye and like paint targets. Like it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's not affecting you that much. But like the people who want the simulation experience, where it's just like where you have that connection with your horse, which by the way pays off at the end.
Yeah, pays off and
yeah,
Lord.
pays off big time. So
Ah.
you know, like. When that horse is dying, well, we're going to spoilers. We already said that. You know, when that
Yeah.
horse is dying, and like, you know, like it's a moment, man.
yeah,
you
and
know,
if you
like,
don't have that bond, that doesn't happen.
it doesn't
Yeah.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
like so you have to earn the bond. You earn that ending. You earn that moment. The thank you, boy or girl, whatever you have.
Boy, that's a good boy.
Thank you so much, boy.
But yeah, I love that moment. I love that the game, like, it pays you, it pays off for you the more time you put into it. You know, the more you
Absolutely.
invest your immersion into it, the more immersed you're going to be. But like, the more that you're annoyed by all the things you have to do, like, the game's probably just not for you. You know, like it's. And I use this word, and it may not be the right word, but I keep on using it. It's a sophisticated game, and a lot of people aren't gonna.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
A lot of people aren't at the level that this game needs you to be at to, like, not enjoy it, but just, like, again, play it on its terms or whatever, you know, like. And I truly believe that, you know. I think this game's not going to be for everybody because it's maybe just a little more heady than other games need you to be.
I really hate when people that don't like the game paint it as an issue with the game. I'll give you an example. They paint it as an issue, like an objective issue with the game, where, like, here's a perfect example of when you go to look at somebody, it's the same button as aim, and if you want to have a conversation with them, but if your gun is out, you accidentally aim your gun at them. And it's like, well, yeah, put your gun away. Think about what you're doing for a second. The game is asking you to think about the buttons you press before you press them. That's not the game's fault. Like, that's just not
your fault for not acting.
You're excuse the metaphor, but you're quick on the trigger. You know, like you know, like it's. Nothing is ever the game's fault in this game. I don't.
But I've heard people say, "Oh, that's poor game design," and I'm like, "That's the dumbest."
You can't run in camp. Yeah, well, like, look what happens when you run in town. Like, you bump into people and they get mad. Like, you know, like you. Like, the game, like, the whole game is telling you just to slow the fuck down. Like, you know, because if you're just running through everything, you're going to miss that cool side quest on the side of the road that doesn't have a mission marker. You're going to miss that, which I've never saw this and I was looking for it. You're going to miss that KKK cult burning themselves to death on that cross or whatever, you know, like, never got to see it. Never saw it once. Played this game 90 hours and never saw it.
You got to be just cruising through the mountains slowly
all
at
the
night.
time, man. I went all the time. I think, you know, I saw people see it during the day and it's a completely different scenario.
I never saw anything.
They're dragging the cross to get to where it needs to be.
They're prepping.
You know? Yeah, it's prepping, exactly. You know? Yeah, it's fucking, you know, there's so many things that you won't see if you're just, like, blasting through this game, you know? Like, if you're running and you run through a door, you're going to piss off people and they're going to tell the sheriff, you know? Like, everything about this game just says slow down. And, like, in our, what I like to call our Call of Duty Twitch brain mind world of gaming, like, no one wants to do that. Oh, I just want it to all be done, like, right now. It just needs to. Why? Why does everything need to be? Slow down, immerse yourself. Let the game just be.
Game. When you want that.
Yeah,
you know?
but if, you know, like, you're not into this experience, you know, that doesn't mean the game is bad. Just because, like, it's not like, oh, it's not, you know, I hate all these things because it doesn't jive with the way that I like to play games. Well, that doesn't make them bad. These are good mechanics. People are saying, like, the shooting mechanics are really bad in this game. They're stiff. They're bad. Why? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. You point the gun and it shoots people, you know?
Right.
Like, you pop out of cover. It's a pretty good cover system. I don't really know if I agree that it has, like, bad shooting. It's not Gears of War. It's not trying to be. Like, it's got a soft, like, you know, like, lock-on system or whatever, but, like, you can also free aim and everything.
Yeah, I had no problems with that.
Me neither. Like, I never had a problem shooting anybody in this game. And if you don't want to, like, do stuff, you know, you can put your horse on auto run to your next target, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
For all you people crying about, like, oh, there's no fast travel. What are you so eager to fast travel in this game for? Again, like, all the fun is in between missions.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all fun. On the road is, like, the fun stuff. Like,
just
that's
stumbling across the serial killer or whatever. Like, there's just
oh my
so
God,
much of that
why is
stuff.
there a pile of bodies here? I better go check this out, you know?
Right.
I love all that stuff, and how we ended up, like, there was a good, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, however long we played the story for, of us, like, sharing unique stories with each other.
Oh my God,
no other game has, like, given us that experience. Like, God of War is, like, one singular linear experience, and Red Dead was just kind of like, oh, by the way, I ran into this guy and this fucking chaotic thing happened. Like, and we all chose to do different things.
Someone's house. What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
finding the guy that was dead on the embankment, going up to him and he's alive, and then oh shit, he gives you a letter to his girlfriend or wife or whatever, and it's fucking
Bonnie McFarlane.
Bonnie McFarlane.
The first one.
You know, I'll bet there's massive amounts of people that have beaten the game and not had that moment.
Yeah,
you know,
because he pops up. Also, he pops up at different places. Like, I think Kyle you were JD, like you had him pop up somewhere on Valentine or something. I had him pop up closer to Saint Denis, where like he was on like the
mine was closer
coast.
to Valentine.
He was on the coast somewhere, like almost like a ship sank and he just washed ashore or whatever.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, that was cool to go up to him. I was like,
cool,
"What's this X about?" And I went up to loot him, and he was like, "Here's a letter." And I was like, "Oh, you looted yourself for me. Thank you."
Well, and like there were some moments where like it kept on like the ambushes, the side road ambushes, just kept on getting more and more elaborate. You know, they started using dynamite trucks or barrels and stuff like that, and it's just
yeah.
You know, and like more people would attack you, and it would just get more and more crazy. Like
I told you guys.
great.
Did I told you guys about the time that they ambushed me with like a Gatling gun and fucking decimated me and my horse. And so
God.
like it bummed me out. Like my saddle was just sitting there in the middle of the road, and I'm like, God damn it, no! Like they took my horse. I was midway through the game, so I was still able to get like a good horse and have a good relationship with them by the end of the game, obviously, or else I wouldn't have been crying so hard. But but it was still like really upsetting.
It was, yeah. It's. I lost the horse too towards the beginning of the game, but like I was like bonding level 3, like almost max, and we took a spill over a mountain. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll just heal you. Oh, I have no heals. My God, I had to put her down. Yeah,
I went back and redid like an hour's worth of missions because I lost mine in some stupid way. I was like, no, I will not fucking lose my horse to this shit.
I did that because my horse ran
train.
into the train. Exactly, that was
On a
following
mission.
me, and I was like, no, I'm reloading. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, fortunately, I never had it happen in like a dumb way. Where if it was like a brutal way, it's like, okay, well, that's kind of a epic way to go out.
Yeah,
But if it was
left
something dumb, I'm definitely reloading the game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. There's there's the game. It does take a little bit to get into. You know, like people are like, oh, the pacing's really slow at the end. Yeah, it is. You know, but like that's okay. I think that like the pace is like appropriately slow because
the world was slower back then.
It was, and like
God,
I don't know.
it's not that hard
There's
to piece
so
together.
many mechanics to like dump on you. Like just like here, this is how you hunt. Oh, by the way, this is this person. Go talk to the butcher. By the way, he's kind of part of your crew. You know, like you're just meeting everybody one by one. So by the time you're in your first camp right outside of Valentine, you're walking around and like talking to people. You kind of know who everybody is already. Yeah. You know, because like they drip fed it to you, and you had a moment with a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, they all had unique traits too, like that you could recognize right off the bat. You know, like, oh, Micah's an asshole. I knew that immediately. You know,
right.
Who's the lady that was so needy at the beginning of the game? Like she was always coming up to you with shit. It was like Marianne or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one who like fake turns on everyone, right?
Yeah. And then she like who kills her at the end? Was it Dutch or she kills herself?
No, one of the
Micah
girls
might have
her.
actually.
Oh
yeah, that's right. One of the girls did.
This is Mrs. Adler. No, that's Sadie.
No, Sadie didn't do that. She's too good for that.
No. It's a Mrs. somebody. I don't know her first name. It's not Sadie.
I love Sadie's arc is great. Like when she first came in the camp, and you interacting with her outside of Valentine, that first camp, and she's just traumatized, doesn't want to talk to anybody, and then for her to turn things around, the more that she hangs out with you guys, and like she's kind of getting too into the whole fucking outlaw thing. Then she sees how to demonstrate restraint through Arthur, which is awesome. You know, like I fucking love all that. You know,
well, and while they're gone, she's the one who picks up the whole gang and like takes care of them and everything. You know? Like she's like kind of the glue that kind of kept everyone together. You know,
she's so good.
Dutch's story is really great. You know, his like you're just like, is this guy crazy or has he always been crazy? And everything's just falling apart now, and you're just seeing who he really is. Like that whole just him kind of unraveling is just awesome.
Just more like
I think
I would love to see him when he's at his best and the outlaw isn't fading out, because clearly at the beginning of the game, after they fuck up things in Blackwater, is when he starts going off the deep end already. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's already like,
even
I don't have a plan
at Blackwater,
anymore.
he was killing like that's not him. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of the downward trend of the outlaw lifestyle that he's just not responding well to, and I would just love to see them like in their 20s in their prime or some shit, you know?
Me too. I think that'd be so cool.
Sure.
Keep on doing prequels. That's the secret with this game.
Yeah, keep doing prequels.
I'm going further
and calling it 3. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't say, because obviously, like you guys are saying, he's been doing like crazy shit for a little while now. I'm surprised that they didn't make his descent. I'm surprised they didn't hold it off a little bit until like Hosea died, because I think that would have been like a really logical reason to show like maybe he wasn't crazy, but losing like
Jose was some type of anchor for that game.
Yeah,
of
well,
his
he was
two big
really
guys.
the one who got the mover man. He was a
he was
facilitator of
he
jobs,
was
and
he was the finder. Like, and he was a more logical person. He wasn't as I didn't view Jose as much of an outlaw. He was more just like a criminal.
well, I wonder
like
where
master-
Hosea would have lined up on things too. Like, after it all the chips were falling. Like he seemed reasonable to be with Arthur, but like him and Dutch were close though. So
True.
it's just like, would he even be able to like talk Dutch off the ledge? Or because Hosea dying really changes everything. And
Well, yeah, I mean that bank
and then
job.
and then Lenny dying too, which Lenny and Arthur
Yeah,
greatest,
dude, that
like,
was
duo
rough.
ever.
Oh man.
But when Lenny dies, like that's a big turnaround for Arthur, where he's just like, "What we're doing's not right, everybody." Like, he's just like it changes everything for him. It's very his whole man. Arthur is one of the most rounded, complex like characters ever. Like he's like he starts as kind of like just kind of a bystander, like just do what Dutch tells me, but like. He starts, once he's like, especially after he gets to the tuberculosis, like, call or whatever, and he has to start living with that or whatever, and things he starts seeing everything differently. He even says that I see the whole world differently now, and like, it's I don't know, he just has this really interesting arc where he starts turning things around, and the whole Mrs. Downs story and everything, where like,
oh yeah,
that's like, and like, he feels so guilty and. He doesn't even think
her life is in shambles
now. Tuberculosis, I should shoot you. He even helps them, and like
he could
crazy.
blame them or be mad at them because it was her husband that got him sick, and he knows that. So I don't know, man. He's so fucking good.
It's so good,
dude, great fucking
it's
character.
So good. And then like how everything like ends at the end with like when Micah, like it all comes down to like it's Micah, and he shows up in camp and he's like, Dutch, we gotta finally talk, and everybody's there.
Everybody's drawn their battle lines. Dude, I love that shit.
It's some of the best exchange of dialogue in the entire game, entire game. And then John comes out of nowhere. You left me, Dutch. You left me, Dutch. You left me.
Excuse me,
mister.
Excuse me. And then they all start like slowly forming like lines in the sand. They all start going to one side of each other. And Dutch comes out and just aims gun. All right, everybody. I don't trust anybody right now, just like aiming guns at everybody. But if anyone's on my side and still listens to me, like, come on over. And everybody goes to them, and it's you and John. It's so fucking good. Like, the whole exchange is good. The whole Mexican standoff is so perfect. Oh, it's so good.
And then the moment right after that, too, is no, the Pinkertons got him, or whatever.
They show up, the Pinkertons do.
The Pinkertons got John, right? Like, after... Fuck. I know the scene after that is when Arthur takes the ride, right? The Unshaken or whatever.
Well, that's when
or is it right
when they
before
meet him
that?
when they meet him at the camp. That's when John and Arthur go through they go back into the cave once a shootout happens after the Mexican standoff.
Then they go on the run together.
Then they go on the run, and then it's do you go help John or do you go back and get the money?
Yeah.
And that's when you have to make the smart choice and go with John to get the best ending.
Yeah. Yeah, so up into the camp right before the camp, you're crying.
Right when you come back from Guam, like you're riding back and like it starts playing the song,
or it's after the eagle. It's after the eagle flies one, isn't it? The Unshaken song, isn't that after?
Yeah. Wait! I thought that's the way it is, or whatever the fuck it is. I thought that was the song that everybody was crying towards.
Yeah, we love the Unshaken song.
Yeah,
but. It plays in two spots.
It does?
Plays well, okay. First off,
it plays at the very end, and it plays sometime in between chapter 5 and 6.
Now I didn't even notice. It's also the theme of the menu when you're on the menu, and it's like bum 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 bum. Like that is a slowed down version of that theme. So
it's crazy.
They're the whole fucking. But yeah, I remember it playing after that big Eagle Flies mission for some reason. I could be wrong about that.
Oh, I remember right before you're riding to the camp to be like. All right, Sadie, I'm going to go to the camp and or whatever.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. Yes, you're right.
And that's because the moment where you're fucking... That's where everybody doing react videos is fucking crying. I'm crying. Yeah. That's like the moment where you're like, I'm going to fucking cry right now.
You're sending Sadie off to go get rid of
to protect
John's wife.
Yeah, to protect John's
Abigail,
wife. Yeah,
not wife yet, but getting rid of Abigail
and
because
he knows he's taking
John's
his last ride. Like, and he puts on his signature hat. He removes the custom one, puts on his signature hat, and you're like, God damn it, I'm going to cry right now. Like,
Yeah.
That fucking kills me. And then, of course,
Yeah.
the horse moment that kills me. And then John trying to dissuade Arthur from sacrificing himself at the end.
Yeah.
That a whole other fucking layer of tears to that too.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, this is the way it's got to be.
yeah.
And then they finally fight, like him and Micah when they're finally fighting, and Arthur gives my favorite line in the entire game to Micah. He's like, "You can't even beat up a dying man." You know?
Oh my god, yeah. That's so
And
Arthur
just
too.
so
beating
good.
the tar out of him,
Yeah.
you know. You fucking suck, Micah. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck
So
Micah,
good.
dude.
Oh, fuck him. When you
Fuck
finally get
him
revenge
so
of him at
bad.
the end, it's so good. And
Oh, yeah, it's
Dutch,
so
like,
gratifying.
oh, it's so
And they
good.
do like this old school Clint Eastwood type theme where it's like, "Ba-da-da," like
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
just like
It's great.
you're fucking,
Dutch
Yeah.
blows his
Dutch,
fucking brains out.
I
And
mean,
I'm just
dude,
like,
the-
yes!
you know, like
Because
The game begins and ends with a descent down the mountain and then a very fucking awesome frenetic ascent.
yeah, is that the
up
same mountain
Yeah.
that John was found on?
I don't
Wrecked
know.
by
I mean,
wolves?
there's so many different mountains in the game. It
It had to
could
have been in
be,
the same area though, because it was in the snowy area.
yeah.
because
so
when you're
there's only
at
one
the beginning of the
snowy
game,
area.
you're starting in the upper left corner of the map. I don't remember where it is in the finale, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, same climate, same environment.
That still shows that Dutch is not like all lost though. Like he could still like he's like, yeah, I knew that guy fucked me. You know, like
Yeah, he was.
I was
yeah,
pretty
trying to
much here,
milk
and
it.
I was here to do this. You know, like
Yeah.
you just showed up while I was here to do this. You know, like it seemed like
Dutch-
he knew, and like he didn't kill John. He didn't like antagonize him. He just like, see you around, partner.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you like Dutch isn't like a total lost cause
Yeah.
or whatever. But you see a lot of like the thing, like because like he's using the Native Americans in Red Dead 1. You know, like so it's
Yeah.
just, like you can see that like those tactics being formed in this game, and you see a lot of like, and how he dies at the end of like Red Dead 1. You know, he's like, "Oh, come on, John, I got a plan," and
Always
jumps off the
got a
side of the
plan.
mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always got a plan, Dutch. You know, and like that's it. That's his fucking saying. You know, that's
Yeah.
why John was so like, you know, oh, you always. I've heard that my whole life. You know,
Yeah.
like that. It has the, and I think I said this on Fathers of the Grind. It has the Rogue One effect. It makes the thing that follows it better. Like it,
Yeah.
It does,
it makes the
yeah.
first game better. Red Dead 1 is enriched by playing this game. You know,
Yeah.
like it's.
I agree.
You know, especially like when you're thinking about like John's son or whatever. Like
Uh-huh.
you know, like they want something different for John. You know, they've always wanted something different for John. John's son. What's his son's name?
Jack.
Jack, thank you. They always wanted something different for Jack. He's smart or whatever, but like no matter what, nobody in this life gets out of this life, you know, like not even Jack or whatever. And you see, so like all of them going, "Oh, you're so book smart, Jack. You know, you're gonna be so smart." You're just sitting there like, "No, he's never gonna be."
No, he's not.
You know,
Yeah, talk about a game,
Like-
another game with a cycle in it, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, I was going to say, put that under the same lens as Atreus. Like, Atreus
Yeah.
is this literary genius. He reads languages. He's very smart. And, you know, what path is he destined to because of the sins of his father?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Fucking,
you know?
these games, you know what?
Brilliant.
These games fucking suck.
Yeah, these games are so bad.
These games are
The worst
pieces
fucking
of
year in
shit.
video games ever.
Nothing for me. We've spent more time talking about these two games than we did the entire 8 games in our list before that. Like,
Yeah,
That's so true.
that's where we're at.
yep. Good
Ah.
Oh, boy.
it just it's just great, and I like the ending too, like the true ending after the epilogue, where it shows like the Pinkertons, like, man, look at all these dead bodies on this mountain. We better figure out what happened here, and it all leads back to John, you know, and like that's how they get him and entice him into doing this, and
Oh yeah,
the
now
way
you see
it is.
totally what leverage they had over him
mhm.
because I
Yeah.
don't think they go into it much at the beginning of Red Dead. It's just like
No,
you
not
see him,
really. They're
and
just
he's
like,
there,
I have
and
to do it.
this is what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna I was gonna fucking say something about Red Dead, and it got me all talking in an accent and mixed up.
Oh no.
Shut
boy.
up, boy.
I was gonna
sounds
say
right.
online. It does get points for me for online too. That's
Big
another
time.
reason for it to be number one is because they
I'm
released it
ashamed I
online,
haven't
told you it was beta, and night one I was able to play with everybody online, like, and it
Yeah,
crashed like
it
once
was
for me. You know what I mean?
Fucking
Like
great. Yeah.
that's just insane.
It's
how
a lot
well
of
it
fun.
plays. Yeah.
You know, it's got a whole little story to it. They're gonna just keep on adding on to that. You
Right.
know, they got some good little like in-world missions. You know, and I haven't played a lot of the multiplayer yet, like the modes or whatever. There's like horse racing and
Oh, I
capture
haven't
the
done any of that
flag,
either.
and all sorts of stuff. You know, but like it's got a lot of modes right now. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. I just don't know where you go. You know, like I've heard that there's like people have found like coding for like building a house. You know, kind of like what we do with
Oh,
like
yeah,
John.
like you
did with
John, yeah.
So it's like you'll save up a lot of money and like build out. You'll choose
And I
like
love
the
doing
style
that
of
stuff
house
too,
that
by
you
the way.
want and stuff like that. And that's big. Fallout 76 is doing that. That's really big in games like Rust and Minecraft and all these other kind of survival games. So like I can see something like that happening.
Those are going to cost like $1 million in the in-game money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're kind of cost an arm and leg, but you can buy a little shack too if I just want a little place.
Hey, just come to my shitty shack real quick.
Yeah, but you'll still have your camp, and your camp moves around, but your house will like operate as a different thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what you'll do with it. Maybe you can do something like have like a horse like thing on the side where I corral horses and sell.
Now, I was going to say, okay, yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. You mentioned John building his house at the end. I was going to say that epilogue, and I know that people kind of like go, oh, well, the pacing in this is way different than the where the Arthur's chapters ended or whatever. But like, it's important for us to see how John is trying to carve out a life and
well, and also that's exactly how Red Dead 1 ended. The entire last act is you corralling cattle and getting horses. Like it's all slow, like. It just parallels the first game. So people
okay. Well, I didn't even know that because I didn't get that far.
Yeah, the whole third act after you complete Mexico is you just doing like it's almost exactly what you're doing now. Just like I'm getting the farm already, and I've been away a long time, and Uncle has been here, And,
there's some robbers around here and shit. We gotta protect our shit.
Right. And and like it's very just like calm and stuff like that. So it's like the people who are all of a sudden like, I hate you loved it back then. Like why?
Yeah.
What changed all of a sudden?
Well, it's popular now, so.
Yeah.
Also, I want attention. Hey, you know what? In fact, I'm just going to admit it now. I played 10 hours of this game, and it's my number one.
Yeah, and then I enforced a very hard opinion on it afterwards.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I think this game is the most alive open world I've ever been in.
Same
I don't
here.
think I've ever seen a world that's been so alive. You can just follow a person all day, every day, and they'll be doing something different. It doesn't even feel like they're on rails or anything.
Right.
But they're doing like real stuff. I'm going to the bank, and then I'm going down and hanging out at the bar, and I'm meeting my friend, and and sometimes you'll run into, I know we've all seen this one, the guy who are fighting about that guy's wife or whatever as they're like falling out of the bar,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to go see that wife of yours, after he shoots him dead,
Who was it? Was it one of you who said that? Nah, I think I was talking to somebody else who said that they followed that guy home. They followed that guy home after,
Yeah. He goes and sees that guy's wife.
Yeah. No. Okay. No, I'm thinking of something different then. Where a drunk guy comes out of a bar and is like, "Hey, can you give me a ride home, sir?" And you do. And this is my friend was telling me this. He said he did give him a ride home, and when he did, his wife kicked him out and was like, "You're back home and drunk again? How dare you?" And then he just sits on the porch and he's all sad and contemplating his life decisions and stuff. My friend said he went back to that house later, like another day, and he answered the door. And I was like, oh, that's a nice touch. Like, he clearly mended some fences there.
Yeah, right.
And he just seems more sober. Like, it's just, that was cool. And I told you guys about that house that was being built near Valentine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that just kind of slowly,
I talked to that guy.
Back to it. It comes
I gave
back
him
up.
money. I helped him build it. Like, and he was like, hey, here's your money back. Like, it was like a thing that has nothing to do with any mission in the game.
I never gave
all.
that guy money. You're blowing my mind right now. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, it came back up later, and he was like, oh, yeah, here you go. Here's your money back. And it wasn't like I'm here for my money, and give me my fucking money, and all that shit. It was just...
No TP this
you
time.
Want to hear some real creep stuff? When you take let's say, like, you find a girl on the road, and she's like, hey, my carriage broke down. You take me back into town, mister? And like you're like, yeah, sure. And you get her on, and then let's say you want to be a creep, and like you don't go towards town, and you start going out into the wilderness.
Oh my God.
She'll start kicking and screaming and then freaking out your horse, and like to the point where she'll like stop your horse and she'll get off and start running
away.
My God, somebody help me!
she'll like report you and shit.
The game knows that you're being a creep and adjusts. It's just like, all right,
that is wild, dude. Like everybody has a personality in it.
Unless you hog tie her. Trust me.
Yeah,
I mean, how I know that.
Yes.
I did not know that though. That's crazy.
Get you home.
It's weird, man. Yeah, like the game allows you to be like a creep, like, and again, it adjusts like like what the mission of that current character's NPC like route or whatever. At first, it's just like I'm taking you to the to the city, and then it turns into like survival mode. This NPC goes into survival mode or whatever. It's just cool, man. The game just like. It's so organic. Everything is so real. Like
how it's
so
that
good
intuitive to that degree where it's just a nobody. Jesus Christ, man. Rockstar. I don't know about your overtime policies at all, but whatever. Who cares? This game is amazing. That's all I care about. I'm a consumer who is not woke, and I refuse to be.
Did y'all
you know what?
The description of the Cattleman's Revolver was probably written by a rogue Rockstar employee about their conditions in the catalog? Have y'all read this?
No, I haven't.
Here, let me pull up the description. Cattleman's Revolver.
But speaking of Revolver, you're looking that up. Seeking out all the legendary gunsmans.
That was so much fun, man.
That was a blast.
So many great shootouts that you do. It's so great.
I'm gonna find it. Because it's something about countless workers have worked countless tireless hours to bring this product to you, and shit.
Jeez.
That's pretty much the gist of it.
I'm failing. That's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, I'm failing at Googling right now.
Oh, okay. Cuck. You're a cuck Googler.
My thumbs don't work.
Hey, this just in, guys. Doom composer Mick Gordon recruits heavy metal choir for next soundtrack, by the way. So, no big deal.
No big deal.
Oh. Yeah. Metal Gear?
I don't know what a heavy metal choir is, but very excited for it.
Well, they're all just 30 dudes going.
Are they screaming louder? Yeah, are they just screaming louder than they're already screaming? Or I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway, we love Red Dead. We love the shit out of it.
Red Dead may be game, it's game of the year, unquestionably, and that's not even the conversation. The conversation is it game of the generation? And yes, it is.
Very well should be.
No denying. I think you're high off your rocker if you think otherwise. It's just it's the most. I've never seen a game so put together so well. Yeah. And be just so immersive in every single way, man. I was Arthur. That was my Arthur. You know what I mean? Everyone's Arthur looked different. We all had different body sizes depending on how much we were eating. Different hairstyles, different cowboy hats. Everything was so different. It's cool, man. So you were able to imprint on a character, but he had his own very, very, very specific art and story that you were taking him through, and it's a special game. It's a game that we're not going to get another game like this this generation. I promise.
Yeah, guarantee it.
May not even get one next generation. We didn't get a game like this. We've never gotten a game like this before. This is just it's a milestone. It's a pillar in the industry of video game making. I'll die on that hill, man.
And look at that. What do you know? Rockstar is the one that crossed that threshold first. What do you know?
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Yeah. And, and everyone who talks about, hating the Rockstar formula. So is that the open world formula? Because that's what every open world game is the Rockstar formula.
Yeah.
So let's not act like, Rockstar should change the game a little bit. They created the game. They created the genre.
It's their fucking formula, man.
And I think that they are pushing it forward. I think this is a massive improvement over GTA 5. And GTA 5 is a masterpiece in my mind. It's one of the greatest games of all time created. And this game is ups the ante in every fucking way imaginable. It's just it's absolutely incredible. Running out of words to say.
Yeah, dude. Game of generation for me easily, but I don't I don't play as many games as everybody else does, but still educated enough to make that declaration, I think.
Yeah.
Informed enough. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what the rest of this year holds for gaming. January and February, I think, are busy months, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to be playing Kingdom Hearts soon, and that makes my heart sing.
Oh, man. The end of January, right? Yeah.
Yep. It's 28th, I think.
Whew. Also, I'm for sure getting the Walking Dead final season completed, so yay!
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's coming this month, episode 3, which I'm really excited about because, honestly, when people are like, oh, those games play really shitty and whatever, and they have glitchy problems, and, none of those issues happen in the final season, at all. So, they turned a page way too late, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right.
And that's the biggest bummer of all. Is that they the engine just totally changed?
A lot of the same creators,
cared.
though. A lot of the same dev team.
Yeah,
they cherry picked a lot of the same people. So.
Oh, thank God! Because if the game came out and the engine is regressed to what it was in past seasons, I would be like, what the fuck? Don't bring it back at all. Then, but I'm pretty sure it's going to stay the same.
This is such a Cinderella story. This is another thing that shouldn't exist that we're getting.
Yeah.
2019 will be the year of things that shouldn't exist with this and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and there's another example I can't remember what. I think maybe that Outer Worlds game. Why are we getting that game? That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. Rage 2, because the first one was so meh to so many people. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a good year for games. Probably even more so for movies. I don't know, because the movies are fucking. The blockbusters are just like out of this world. On top of Tarantino and Scorsese doing new shit.
Yeah.
But not Nolan. Nolan, what the fuck, man? We still don't know what you're doing. What are you doing?
Taking a sleeper year.
Come on, man.
Like, are you doing anything new, or what?
You better
what's going
be.
on?
Yeah, actually, he's done. He
just quit after Dunkirk.
His last movie was so bad, as we talked about here on this podcast, that he just quit movies. So.
Yep, obviously that's the worst movie of 2017.
Yeah,
because it's not Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah,
okay.
it came in second place, so we hated it because only number one matters.
All right.
Yep,
All right.
clearly. That's why Red Dead Redemption 2 is the only game that matters.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
All right, so we did a episode as long as a Joe Rogan podcast, and we didn't talk about anything about DMT. And
but have you guys ever tried to?
Dude, that Kanye.
pull that up, Jamie.
Oh my.
Who the fuck's Jamie on this podcast?
We don't really have a Jamie.
Yeah, we don't.
In fact, JD just failed at being Jamie, so it's definitely not him.
It's entirely possible.
Hold on, I have it pulled up. Y'all want to hear it? Okay.
Go ahead.
It's
All right,
entirely
so
possible.
A
Pull
militia
that shit up, Jamie.
Ranchers, lawmen, cattlemen, and cattle rustlers alike swear. Should I read this like Arthur? I feel like I should read it like Arthur.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Ranchers, lawmen, and cattle rustlers alike swear an oath to this majestic revolver. It has saved many a skin and shed few tears throughout the years. We believe you will agree there is no more iconic, well-known revolver on the market today. A sidearm for many years of the U.S. Army, it is manufactured in a factory we own and control in Worcester, Massachusetts. It is made by skilled laborers who work tireless hours each week and on the weekends for little pay in order to bring you the finest revolver in the field today. It carries a distinctiveness and beauty and design that will compel you to display it at weddings, funerals, and during the late nights when tempers may run amok.
Wow.
That felt really good.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I felt like I was transported to Old Saint Denis.
But yeah,
Old
Saint Denis.
Next time we come here, remind me I hate this place.
Oh my God.
Hi,
But yeah, I love that little.
I can't do it anymore.
Hey,
I can't do
hey,
fucking John
mister.
anymore.
Hi,
John is the
mister.
toughest one.
John's really hard because you have to
Close
yell.
at least with
But you're at a higher
At
tempo.
least with Dutch, you can talk like this and go, "Where's our plan? My plan." You know, like you can talk like some kind of crazy old man, and you somehow squeezed out Dutch. But John, I can't do it.
Because you got to be high pitched but raspy. That's a difficult thing to do.
Hey,
Mister.
Mister.
So
Excuse me,
tough.
sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Shit. That game has permeated pop culture in a way that critics want to
Yeah.
deny. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's
sure.
Red Dead porn. We made it, guys.
Yep. Yeah.
We did.
Redpecker? I don't know.
It's Red Dead Erection is what it
Oh,
is.
that's perfect. Damn it.
Yeah.
So mad at myself.
Yeah.
So the next episode we're going to do is Top 10 TV from 2018, which is, damn, man, it's been a really good year.
Hell of a year.
But also, I will tell everybody that chances are we haven't seen everything because there's way too much TV. So
There's
don't,
too much.
right.
I
don't
don't even
nitpick
try
our
to,
list.
like.
You know?
I don't even try.
My number one is a no duck cookie answer. So sorry, everybody.
Yeah,
It's not-
I think we have the same number one no duck
We've
cookie
better,
answer,
JD, all right?
and
There
Jeff
needs to be-
left it off his list.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds about
That is
right.
correct.
That's what happened. Yep.
Yep. Mine is correct. Mine list is the correct list.
Well, yeah, we'll hash all that out.
This is going to be worse than when you guys put Star Wars ahead of Avengers.
We're just gonna be me, and JD, going, "What the fuck?"
What is wrong with you?
I
And like
wait.
for,
We've
for
never even
me,
heard of that show,
for me-
Jeff. What the fuck?
going through Red Dead only reinforced that. Like it really did. Whatever.
Oh, shit.
I just gave it away. Maybe not. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
You never know.
All right, cool. Well, see everybody later, and stay tuned and high pitched ending.